Book 10, Chapter 1. How Sir Tristram jousted, and smote down King Arthur, because he told him not the cause why he bare that shield. And if so be ye can describe what ye bear, ye are worthy to bear the arms. As for that, said Sir Tristram, I will answer you. This shield was given me, not desired, of Queen Morgan le Fay. And as for me, I cannot describe these arms, for it is no point of my charge, and yet I trust to God to bear them with worship. Truly, said King Arthur, ye ought not to bear none arms but if ye wis what ye bear. But I pray you tell me your name. To what intent? Said Sir Tristram. For I would wit, said Arthur. So, ye shall not wit us at this time. Then shall ye and I do battle together, said King Arthur. Why, said Sir Tristram, will ye do battle with me but if I tell you my name? And that little needeth you and ye were a man of worship. For ye have seen me this day have had great travail, and therefore ye are a villainous knight to ask battle of me, considering my great travail. Howbeit I will not fail you, and have ye no doubt that I fear not you. Though you think you have me at a great advantage, yet shall I right well endure you. And therewithal King Arthur dressed his shield and his spear, and Sir Tristram against him, and they came so eagerly together. And there King Arthur brake his spear all to pieces upon Sir Tristram's shield. But Sir Tristram hit Arthur again, that horse and man fell to the earth. And there was King Arthur wounded on the left side, a great wound and a perilous. Then when Sir Gawain saw his lord Arthur lie on the ground sore wounded, he was passing heavy. And then he dressed his shield and his spear, and cried aloud unto Sir Tristram, and said, Knight, defend thee. So they came together as thunder, and Sir Gawain breathed his spear all to pieces upon Sir Tristram's shield. And Sir Tristram smote him hard and sore, with such a might that he bare him clean out of his saddle to the earth. With that Sir Tristram turned about and said, Fair knights, I had no need to joust with you, for I have had enough to do this day. Then arose Arthur and went to Sir Gawain, and said to Sir Tristram, We have as we have deserved, for through our orgulite we demanded battle of you, and yet we knew not your name. Nevertheless, by Saint Cross, said Sir Gawain, he is a strong knight at mine advice as any is now living. Then Sir Tristram departed, and in every place he asked and demanded after Sir Lancelot, but in no place he could not hear of him whether he were dead or alive. Wherefore Sir Tristram made great dole and sorrow. So Sir Tristram rode by a forest, and then was he ware of a fair tower by a marsh on that one side, and on that other side a fair meadow. And there he saw 10 knights fighting together. And ever the nearer he came, he saw how there was but one knight did battle against 9 knights, and that one did so marvellously that Sir Tristram had great wonder that ever one knight might do so great deeds of arms. And then within a little while he had slain half their horses and unhorsed them, and their horses ran in the fields and forest. Then Sir Tristram had so great pity of that one knight that endured so great pain, and ever he thought it should be Sir Palomides by his shield. And so he rode unto the knights, and cried unto them, and bade them cease of their battle. For they did themselves great shame so many knights to fight with one. Then answered the master of those knights, his name was called Breuse Saunce-Pite, that was at that time the most mischievous knight living, and said thus, Sir Knight, what have ye to do with us to meddle? And therefore, an ye be wise, depart on your way as ye came, for this knight shall not escape us. That were pity, said Sir Tristram, that so good a knight as he is should be slain so cowardly, and therefore I warn you I will succour him with all my puissance. Chapter 2. How Sir Tristram saved Sir Palomides' life, and how they promised to fight together within a fortnight. So Sir Tristram alighted off his horse because they were on foot, that they should not slay his horse, and then dress his shield, with his sword in his hand, and he smote on the right hand, and on the left hand passing sore, that well nigh at every stroke he struck down a knight. And when they espied his strokes, they fled all with Breuse Saunce-Pite unto the tower, and Sir Tristram followed fast after with his sword in his hand. But they escaped into the tower, and shut Sir Tristram without the gate. And when Sir Tristram saw this, he returned back unto Sir Palomides, and found him sitting under a tree sore wounded. Ah, fair knight, said Sir Tristram, well be ye found. Gramercy, said Sir Palomides, of your great goodness, for ye have rescued me of my life, and saved me from my death. What is your name? Said Sir Tristram. He said, My name is Sir Palomides. O Jesu, said Sir Tristram, thou hast a fair grace in me this day that I should rescue thee, and thou art the man in the world that I most hate. But now make thee ready, for I will do battle with thee. What is your name? Said Sir Palomides. My name is Sir Tristram, your mortal enemy. It may be so, said Sir Palomides, but ye have done overmuch for me this day that I should fight with you. For inasmuch as ye have saved my life, it will be no worship for you to have ado with me. For ye are fresh, and I am wounded sore. And therefore, and ye will needs have ado with me, assign me a day, and then I shall meet with you without fail. Ye say well, said Sir Tristram. Now I assign you to meet me in the meadow by the river of Camelot, where Merlin set the peron. So they were agreed. Then Sir Tristram asked Sir Palomides why the 10 knights did battle with him. For this cause, said Sir Palomides, as I rode upon mine adventures in a forest beside I espied where lay a dead knight, and a lady weeping beside him. And when I saw her making such dole, I asked her who slew her lord. Sir, she said, the falsest knight of the world now living, and he is the most villain that ever man heard speak of in his name, is Sir Saunspite. Then for pity I made the damosel to leap on a palfrey, and I promised her to be a warrant, and to help her to inter her lord. And so, suddenly, as I came riding by this tower, there came out Sir Saunspite, and suddenly he struck me from my horse. And then, or I might recover my horse, this Sir slew the damosel. And so I took my horse again, and I was so ashamed, and so began the medley betwixt us. And this is the cause wherefore we did this battle. Well, said Sir Tristram, now I understand the manner of your battle, but in any wise have remembrance of your promise that ye have made with me to do battle with me this day fortnight. I shall not fail you, said Sir Palomides. Well, said Sir Tristram, as at this time I will not fail you till that ye be out of the danger of your enemies. So they mounted upon their horses, and rode together unto that forest, and there they found a fair well, with clear water bubbling. Fair sir, said Sir Tristram, to drink of that water have I courage. And then they alighted off their horses. And then were they where them where stood a great horse tied to a tree, and ever he neighed. And then were they ware of a fair knight armed, under a tree, lacking no piece of harness, save his helm lay under his head. By the good Lord, said Sir Tristram, yonder leath a well-faring knight. What is best to do? Awake him, said Sir Palomides. So Sir Tristram awaked him with the butt of his spear. And so the knight rose up hastily, and put his helm upon his head, and get a great spear in his hand. And without any more words he hurled unto Sir Tristram, and smote him clean from his saddle to the earth, and hurt him on the left side, that Sir Tristram lay in great peril. Then he walloped farther, and fetched his course, and came hurling upon Sir Palomides, and they struck him apart through the body, that he fell from his horse to the earth. And then this strange knight left them there, and took his way through the forest. With this Sir Palomides and Sir Tristram were on foot, and get their horses again, and either asked counsel of other, what was best to do. By my head, said Sir Tristram, I will follow this strong knight that thus ashamed us. Well, said Sir Palomides, and I will repose me hereby with a friend of mine. Beware, said Sir Tristram unto Palomides, that ye fail not that day that ye have set with me to do battle. For, as I deem, ye will not hold your day, for I am much bigger than ye. As for that, said Sir Palomides, be it as it be may, for I fear you not. For when I be not sick nor prisoner, I will not fail you, but I have cause to have more doubt of you that ye will not meet with me, for ye ride after yonder strong knight. And if ye meet with him, it is an hard adventure, and ever ye escape his hands. Right so Sir Tristram and Sir Palomides departed, and either took their ways diverse. Chapter 3. How Sir Tristram sought a strong knight that had smitten him down, and many other knights of the Round Table. That me repenteth, said Sir Tristram, of your great anger, and it please you tell me your husband's name. Sir, said she, his name was Galahad, that would have proved a good knight. So departed Sir Tristram from the dolorous lady, and had much evil lodging. Then on the 3rd day Sir Tristram met with Sir Gawain and with Sir Bleoberis in a forest at a lodge, and either were sore wounded. Then Sir Tristram asked Sir Gawain and Sir Bleoberis if they met with such a knight, with such a cognizance, with a covered shield. Fair sir, said these knights, such a knight met with us to our great damage. By my faith, said Sir Gawain, by my counsel ye shall let him pass and seek him no further, for at the next feast of the Round Table, upon pain of my head ye shall find him there. By my faith, said Sir Tristram, I shall never rest till that I find him. And then Sir Gawain asked him his name. Then he said, My name is Sir Tristram. And so either told other their names, and then departed Sir Tristram and rode his way. And at the first recounter, said Sir Kay, he smote me down from my horse and hurt me passing sore. And when my fellow, Sir Dinadan, saw me smitten down and hurt, he would not revenge me, but fled from me, and thus he departed. And then Sir Tristram asked them their names, and so either told other their names. And so Sir Tristram departed from Sir Kay, and from Sir Dinadan, and so he passed through a great forest into a plain, till he was ware of a priory, and there he reposed him with a good man 6 days. Chapter 4. How Sir Tristram smote down Sir Sagramore le Desirous and Sir Dinas le Savage. Fair knights, said Sir Tristram, with a good will I would joust with you, but I have promised at a day set, near hand, to do battle with a strong knight, and therefore I am loath to have ado with you, for when it misfortune me here to be hurt I should not be able to do my battle which I promised. As for that, said Sagramore, more be your head, ye shall joust with us or ye pass from us. Well, said Sir Tristram, if ye enforce me thereto, I must do what I may. And then they dressed their shields, and came running together with great ire. But through Sir Tristram's great force he struck Sir Sagramore from his horse. Then he hurled his horse farther, and said to Sir Dinas, Knight, make thee ready. And so through fine force Sir Tristram struck Dinas from his horse. And when he saw them lie on the earth, he took his bridle, and rode forth on his way, and his man Gouvernail with him. Then departed Sir Tristram, and rode straight unto Camelot, to the perron that Merlin had made to fall, where Sir Lancelot, that was the king's son of Ireland, was slain by the hands of Balin. And in that same place was the fair lady Colombe slain, that was love unto Sir Lancelot. For after he was dead, she took his sword, and thrust it through her body. And by the craft of Merlin he made to inter this knight, Lancelot, and his lady, Colombe, under one stone. And at that time Merlin prophesied that in that same place should fight two the best knights that ever were in Arthur's days, and the best lovers. So when Sir Tristram came to the tomb where Lancelot and his lady were buried, he looked about him after Sir Palomides. So Sir Palomides left me, and I followed after that knight. And in many places I found where he had slain knights, and forjousted many. By my head, said Sir Gawain, that same knight smote me down in Sir Bleoberis, and hurt us all both, he with the covered shield. Ah, said Sir Kay, that knight smote me down and hurt me passing sore, and fain would I have known him, but I might not. Jesu, mercy, said Arthur, what knight was that with the covered shield? I know not, said Sir Tristram, and so said they all. Now, said King Arthur, then what I, for it is Sir Lancelot. Then they all looked upon Sir Lancelot and said, Ye have beguiled us with your covered shield. It is not the first time, said Arthur, he hath done so. Well, said Arthur, I will desire of you that ye will abide in my court. Sir, said Sir Tristram, thee too is me loath, for I have ado in many countries. Not so, said Arthur, ye have promised it me, ye may not say nay. Sir, said Sir Tristram, I will as ye will. Then went Arthur unto the sieges about the Round Table, and looked in every siege the which were void that lacked knights. And then the king saw in the siege of Marhaus letters that said, This is a siege of the noble knight, Sir Tristram. And then Arthur made Sir Tristram knight of the Table Round, with great nobly and great feasts as might be thought. For Sir Marhaus was slain afore by the hands of Sir Tristram in an island, and that was well known at that time in the court of Arthur, for this Marhaus was a worthy knight. And for evil deeds that he did unto the country of Cornwall, Sir Tristram and he fought. And they fought so long, tracing and traversing, till they fell bleeding to the earth, for they were so sore wounded that they might not stand for bleeding. And Sir Tristram by fortune recovered, and Sir Marhaus died through the stroke on the head. So leave we of Sir Tristram, and speak we of King Mark. Then King Mark was right heavy of these tidings, and as glad was La Beale Eye sued. Then in great despite he took with him 2 good knights and 2 squires, and disguised himself, and took his way into England to the intent for to slay Sir Tristram. And one of these two knights hight Berchels, and the other knight was called Amand. So as they rode, King Mark asked a knight that he met where he should find King Arthur. He said, "At Camelot." Also he asked that knight after Sir Tristram, whether he heard of him in the court of King Arthur. "As for that," said Sir Amand, "I will not discover your name." And so they departed, and Amand and his fellows took the body of Berchels and buried it. Then King Mark arose and went near him and said, "Fair knight, ye have made a piteous complaint." "Truly," said the knight, "it is 100 part more rueful than my heart can utter." "I require you," said King Mark, "tell me your name." "Sir," said he, "as for my name, I will not hide it from no knight that beareth a shield, and my name is Sir Lamorak de Gales." But when Sir Lamorak heard King Mark speak, then wist he well by his speech that he was a Cornish knight. "Sir," said Sir Lamorak, "I understand by your tongue ye be of Cornwall, wherein there dwelleth the shamefullest king that is now living, for he is a great enemy to all good knights, and that proveth well. For he hath chased out of that country Sir Tristram, that is the worshipfullest knight that now is living, and all knights speak of him worship, and for jealousness of his queen he hath chased him out of his country. It is pity," said Sir Lamorak, "that ever any such false knight coward as King Mark is, should be matched with such a fair lady and good as La Beale Isoud is, for all the world of him speaketh shame, and of a worship that any queen may have. I have not ado in this matter," said King Mark, "neither naught will I speak thereof." Then there came a knight that was called Sir Dinadan, and saluted them both. And when he wist that King Mark was a knight of Cornwall, he reproved him for the love of King Mark 1,000-fold more than did Sir Lamorak. Then he proffered to joust with King Mark, and he was full loath thereto. But Sir Dinadan edged him so that he jousted with Sir Lamorak. And Sir Lamorak smote King Mark so sore that he bare him on his spear end over his horse's tail. And then King Mark arose again, and followed after Sir Lamorak. But Sir Dinadan would not joust with Sir Lamorak, but he told King Mark that Sir Lamorak was Sir Kay, the seneschal. Then Sir Tryan sent King Mark another spear to joust more, but in no wise he would not joust no more. Then they came to the castle all 3 knights, and prayed the lord of the castle of harbour. "Ye are right welcome," said the knights of the castle, "for the love of the lord of this castle, the which hight Sir Tolophies Ares." And then they came into a fair court well repaid, and they had passing good cheer, till the lieutenant of this castle, that hight Belus, espied King Mark of Cornwall. Then said Belus, "Sir knight, I know you better than you ween, for ye are King Mark that slew my father for mine own iron, and me had he slain had I not escaped into a wood. But wit ye well, for the love of my lord of this castle I will neither hurt you nor harm you, nor none of your fellowship. But wit ye well, when ye are past this lodging I shall hurt you and I may, for ye slew my father traitorly. But first for the love of my lord, Sir Tor, and for the love of Sir Lamorak, the honourable knight that here is lodged, ye shall have none of lodging. For it is pity that ever ye should be in the company of good knights, for ye are the most villainous knight or king that is now known alive, for ye are a destroyer of good knights, and all that ye do is but treason." "Sir knight," said Sir Dinadan, "I counsel you to leave off at this time, for he is riding to King Arthur, and because I have promised to conduct him to my lord King Arthur needs must I take a part with him. Howbeit I love not his condition, and fain I would be from him." "Well, Dinadan," said Sir Belus, "me repenteth that you will take part with him, but now do your best." And then he hurtled to King Mark, and smote him so upon the shield, that he bare him clean out of his saddle to the earth. That saw Sir Dinadan, and he feuded his spear, and ran to one of Beaulieu's fellows, and smote him down off his saddle. Then Dinadan turned his horse, and smote the 3rd knight in the same wise to the earth, for Sir Dinadan was a good knight on horseback. And there began a great battle, for Beaulieu and his fellows held him together strongly on foot. And so through the great force of Sir Dinadan King Mark had Beaulieu to the earth, and his 2 fellows fled, and had not been Sir Dinadan King Mark would have slain him. And so Sir Dinadan rescued him of his life, for King Mark was but a murderer. And then they took their horses and departed, and left Sir Beaulieu there sore wounded. And then either dressed their spears and their shields, and smote together, so that through fine force Sir Dinadan was smitten to the earth, and lightly he rose up and get his horse, and required that knight to do battle with swords. And he answered and said, Fair knight, as at this time I may not have ado with you no more, for the custom of this passage is such. Then was Sir Dinadan passing wroth that he might not be revenged of that knight. And so he departed, and in no wise would that knight tell his name. But ever Sir Dinadan thought he should know him by his shield that it should be Sir Tor. It is shame to you, said Sir Dinadan, that ye govern you so shamefully. For I see by you ye are full of cowardice, and ye are a murderer, and that is the greatest shame that a knight may have. For never a knight being a murderer of worship, nor never shall have. For I saw but late through my force ye would have slain Sir Belus, a better knight than ye, or ever ye shall be, and more prowess. Thus they rode forth talking till they came to a fair place, where stood a knight, and prayed them to take their lodging with him. So at the request of that knight they reposed them there, and made them well at ease, and had great cheer. For all errant knights were welcome to him, and specially all those of Arthur's court. Then Sir Dinadan demanded his host what was the knight's name that kept the bridge. For what cause ask you it? Said the host. For it is not long ago, said Sir Dinadan, Sit hen he gave me a fall. Ah, fair knight, said his host, thereof have ye no marvel, for he is a passing good knight, and his name is Sir Tor, the son of Ares Lovatia. Ah, said Sir Dinadan, was that Sir Tor? For truly so ever methought. Right as they stood thus talking together, they saw come riding to them over plain 6 knights of the court of King Arthur, well armed at all points. And there by their shields Sir Dinadan knew them well. The first was the good knight Sir Gawain, the son of King Uriens. The second was the noble knight Sir Brandiles. The third was Ozana le Cure Hardy. The fourth was Uwaine les Aventurous. The fifth was Sir Agravaine. The sixth Sir Mordred, brother to Sir Gawain. When Sir Dinadan had seen these 6 knights, he thought in himself he would bring King Mark by some while to joust with one of them. And anon they took their horses and ran after these knights well a 3-mile English. So when Sir Dinadan saw King Mark was gone, he set the spear out of the rest, and threw his shield upon his back, and came, riding to the fellowship of the Table Round. And anon Sir Uwaine knew Sir Dinadan, and welcomed him, and so did all his fellowship. Then in the meanwhile that they were talking came into the castle Sir Gryfelt le Fise de Dayu, and there was he welcome. And they all asked him whether he had seen Sir Lancelot or Sir Tristram. Sirs, he answered, I saw him not so then he departed from Camelot. So as Sir Dinadan walked and beheld the castle, thereby in a chamber he espied King Mark. And then he rebuked him, and asked him why he departed so. Sir, said he, for I durst not abide because they were so many. But how escaped ye? Said King Mark. Sir, said Sir Dinadan, they were better friends than I weened they had been. Who is captain of that fellowship? Said the king. Then for to fear him Sir Dinadan said that it was Sir Lancelot. O Jesu, said the king, might I know Sir Lancelot by his shield? Yea, said Dinadan, for he buried a shield of silver and black bends. All this he said to fear the king, for Sir Lancelot was not in his fellowship. Now I pray you, said King Mark, that ye will ride in my fellowship. That is me loath to do, said Sir Dinadan, because he forsook my fellowship. Right so Sir Dinadan went from King Mark, and went to his own fellowship. And so they mounted upon their horses, and rode on their ways, and talked of the Cornish knight. For Dinadan told them that he was in the castle where they were lodged. It is well said, said Sir Gryflet, for here have I brought Sir Dagonet, King Arthur's fool, that is the best fellow and the merriest in the world. Will ye do well? Said Sir Dinadan, I have told the Cornish knight that here is Sir Lancelot, and the Cornish knight asked me what shield he bare. Truly, I told him that he bare the same shield that Sir Mordred beareth. Will ye do well? Said Sir Mordred, I am hurt and may not well bear my shield nor harness, and therefore put my shield and my harness upon Sir Dagonet, and let him set upon the Cornish knight. That shall be done, said Sir Dagonet, by my faith. Then anon was Dagonet armed him in Mordred harness and his shield, and he was set on a great horse, and a spear in his hand. Now, said Dagonet, show me the knight, and I trow I shall bear him down. So all these knights rode to a woodside, and abode till King Mark came by the way. Then they put forth Sir Dagonet, and he came on all the while his horse might run, straight upon King Mark. And when he came nigh King Mark, he cried as he would, and said, Keep thee, knight of Cornwall, for I will slay thee. Anon, as King Mark beheld his shield, he said to himself, Yonder is a Lancelot. Alas, now am I destroyed. And therewithal he made his horse to run as fast as it might through thick and thin. And ever Sir Dagonet followed after King Mark, crying and rating him as a wood man, through a great forest. When Sir Uwaine and Sir Brandiles saw Dagonet so chase King Mark, they laughed all as they were wood. And then they took their horses, and rode after to see how Sir Dagonet sped. For they would not for no good that Sir Dagonet was shint, for King Arthur loved him passing well, and made him knight with his own hands. And at every tournament he began to make King Arthur to laugh. Then the knights rode here and there, crying and chasing after King Mark, that all the forest rang of the noise. Chapter 13. How Sir Palomides by adventure met King Mark flying, and how he overthrew Dagonet and other knights. So King Mark rode by fortune by a well, in the way where stood a knight-errant on horseback, armed at all points, with a great spear in his hand. And when he saw King Mark coming flying, he said, Knight, return again for shame and stand with me, and I shall be thy warrant. Aye, fair knight, said King Mark, let me pass, for yonder cometh after me the best knight of the world, with a black-bended shield. Fie, for shame, said the knight. He is none of the worthy knights, and if he was Sir Lancelot or Sir Tristram, I should not doubt to meet the better of them both. When King Mark heard him say that word, he turned his horse and abode by him. And then that strong knight bare a spear to Dagonet, and smote him so sore he bare him over his horse's tail, and nigh he had broken his neck. And anon after him came Sir Brandiles, and when he saw Dagonet have that fall, he was passing wroth, and cried, Keep thee, knight, and so they hurtled together wonder sore. But the knight smote Sir Brandiles so sore that he went to the earth, horse and man. Sir Uwaine came after and saw all this. Jesu, said he, Yonder is a strong knight. And then they feuded their spears, and this knight came so eagerly that he smote down Sir Uwaine. Then came Ozana with a hearty heart, and he was smitten down. Now, said Sir Griflet, by my counsel let us send to yonder errant knight, and wit whether he be of Arthur's court, for as I deem it is Sir Lamorak de Gales. So they sent unto him, and prayed the strange knight to tell his name, and whether he were of Arthur's court or not. As for my name they shall not wit, but tell them I am a knight-errant as they are, and let them wit that I am no knight of King Arthur's court. And so the squire rode again unto them, and told them his answer of him. By my head, said Sir Agravaine, he is one of the strongest knights that ever I saw, for he hath overthrown 3 noble knights, and needs we must encounter with him for shame. So Sir Agravaine feuded his spear, and that other was ready, and smote him down over his horse to the earth. And in the same wise he smote Sir Uwaine les Avaudas, and also Sir Griflet. Then had he served them all but Sir Dinadan, for he was behind, and Sir Mordred was unarmed, and Dagonet had his harness. So when this was done, the strong knight rode on his way a soft pace, and King Mark rode after him, praising him mickle. But he would answer no words, but sighed wonderly sore, hanging down his head, taking no heed to his words. Thus they rode well a 3 mile English, and then this knight called to him a varlet, and bade him ride until yonder fair manor, and recommend me to the lady of that castle and place, and pray her to send me refreshing of good meats and drinks. And if she ask thee what I am, tell her that I am the knight that followeth the gladysome beast. That is in English to say the questing beast, for that beast wheresoever he yetta, he quested in the belly with such a noise as it had been a 30 couple of hounds. Then was he ware of a knight that stood under a tree, and his horse tied by him, and the helm of his head. And ever that knight made a doleful complaint as ever made knight. And always he made his complaint of La Beale Isoud, the Queen of Cornwall, and said, Ah, fair lady, why love I thee? For thou art fairest of all other, and yet showest thou never love to me, no bounty. Alas, yet must I love thee, and I may not blame thee, fair lady, for mine eyes be cause of this sorrow. And yet to love thee I am but a fool, for the best knight of the world loveth thee, and ye him again, that is Sir Tristram de Lyons. Then by the license of King Arthur they went to him and spake with him. For while the truncheon of the spear stuck in his body he spake, Ah, fair Demoiselles, said Amant, recommend me unto La Beale Isoud, and tell her that I am slain for the love of her and of Sir Tristram. And they told the Demoiselles how cowardly King Mark had slain him, and Sir Bashules, his fellow. And for that deed I appealed him of treason, and here am I slain in a righteous quarrel. And all was because Sir Bashules and I would not consent by treason to slay the noble knight, Sir Tristram. So God me help, said Sir Dinadan, that same day met Sir Lancelot and Sir Tristram at the same grave of stone. And there was the most mightiest battle that ever was seen in this land betwixt two knights, for they fought more than 2 hours, and that they both bled so much blood that all men marveled that ever they might endure it. And so at the last, by both their assents, they were made friends and sworn brethren for ever, and no man can judge the better knight. And now is Sir Tristram made a knight of the Round Table, and he sitteth in the siege of the noble knight, Sir Marhaus. By my head, said Sir Palomides, Sir Tristram is far bigger than Sir Lancelot, and the hardier knight. Have ye assayed them both? Said Sir Dinadan. And if it hap that King Arthur's knight be beaten, he shall lose his horse and his harness and all that he hath, and hard, if that he escape, but that he shall be prisoner. So God me help, said Palomides, this is a shameful custom, and a villainous usance for a queen to use, and namely to make such war upon her own lord, that is called a flower of chivalry that is Christian or heathen. And with all my heart I would destroy that shameful custom. And I will that all the world which she shall have no service of me. And if she send out any knights, as I suppose she will, for to joust, they shall have both their hands full. And I shall not fail you, said Sir Dinadan, unto my puissance, upon my life. Anon they encountered together, and he with the red shield smote him so hard that he bare him over to the earth. Therewith anon came another knight of the castle, and he was smitten so sore that he avoided his saddle. And forthwithal came the third knight, and the knight with the red shield smote him to the earth. Then came Sir Palomides, and besought him that he might help him to joust. Fair knight, said he unto him, suffer me as at this time to have my will, for when they were 20 knights I shall not doubt them. And ever there were upon the walls of the castle many lords and ladies that cried and said, Well have ye jousted, knight with the red shield. But as soon as the knight had smitten them down, his squire took their horses, and avoided their saddles and bridles of the horses, and turned them into the forest, and made the knights to be kept to the end of the jousts. Right so came out of the castle the fourth knight, and freshly proffered to joust with the knight with the red shield. And he was ready, and he smote him so hard that horse and man fell to the earth, and the knight's back brake with the full, and his neck also. O Jesu, said Sir Palomides, that yonder is a passing good knight, and the best jouster that ever I saw. By my head, said Sir Dinadan, he is as good as ever was Sir Lancelot or Sir Tristram, what knight somever he be. Chapter 18. How Sir Palomides would have jousted for Sir Lamorak with the knights of the castle. Then forthwithal came a knight out of the castle, with a shield bended with black and with white. And anon the knight with the red shield, and he encountered so hard that he smote the knight of the castle through the bended shield and through the body, and brake the horse's back. Fair knight, said Sir Palomides, ye have overmuch on hand. Therefore I pray you let me joust, for ye had need to be reposed. Why so? Said the knight, see me that I am weak and feeble. And so, methinketh ye proffer me wrong, and to me shame, when I do well enough. I tell you now as I told you ost, for when there were 20 knights I shall beat them, and if I be beaten or slain, then may ye revenge me. And if ye think that I be weary, and ye have an appetite to joust with me, I shall find you jousting enough. Sir, said Palomides, I said it not because I would joust with you, but meseemeth that ye have overmuch on hand. And therefore, an ye were gentle, said the knight with the red shield, ye should not proffer me shame. Therefore I require you to joust with me, and ye shall find that I am not weary. Sith ye require me, said Sir Palomides, take keep to yourself. Then they 2 knights came together as fast as their horses might run, and the knight smote Sir Palomides sore on the shield that the spear went into his side a great wound, and a perilous. And therewithal Sir Palomides avoided his saddle. And that knight turned unto Sir Dinadan, and when he saw him coming he cried aloud, and said, Sir, I will not have ado with you. But for that he let it not, but came straight upon him. So Sir Dinadan for shame put forth his spear, and all to shivered it upon the knight. But he smote Sir Dinadan again so hard that he smote him clean from his saddle. But their horses he would not suffer his squires to meddle with, and because they were knights errant. And therewith came a knight out of the castle unarmed, and said, Knight with a red shield, overmuch damage hast thou done to us this day. Therefore return whither thou wilt, for here no more will have ado with thee. For we repent so that ever thou camest here, for by thee is fordone the old custom of this castle. And with that word he turned again into the castle, and shut the gates. Then the knight with the red shield turned and called his squires, and so passed forth on his way, and rode a great pace. And when he was past, Sir Palomides went to Sir Dinadan, and said, I had never such a shame of one knight that ever I met, and therefore I cast me to ride after him, and to be revenged with my sword, for a horseback I deem I shall get no worship of him. Sir Palomides, said Dinadan, Ye shall not meddle with him by my counsel, for ye shall get no worship of him. And for this cause ye have seen him this day have it overmuch to do, and overmuch travailed. By Almighty Jesu, said Palomides, I shall never be at ease till that I have had ado with him. Sir, said Dinadan, I shall give you my beholding. Well, said Palomides, then shall ye see how we shall redress our mights. So they took their horses of their varlets, and rode after the knight with the red shield. And down in a valley beside a fountain they were where he was alighted to repose him, and had done off his helm for to drink at the well. Chapter 19. How Sir Lamorak jousted with Sir Palomides, and hurt him grievously. Ye shall see what we'll do, said Palomides, and therewith he alighted down upon foot, and dressed his shield afore him, and pulled out his sword. Then the knight with the red shield descended down from his horse, and dressed his shield afore him, and so he drew out his sword. And then they came together a soft pace, and wonderly they lashed together, passing thick the mountenance of an hour or ever they breathed. Then they traced and traversed, and waxed wonderly rough, and either by height other death. They hewed so fast with their swords that they cut in down half their swords and mails, that the bare flesh in some place stood above their harness. And when Sir Palomides beheld his fellow's sword overhealed with his blood, it grieved him sore. Some while they foined, some while they struck as wild men. But at the last Sir Palomides waxed faint, because of his first wound that he had at the castle with a spear, for that wound grieved him wonderly sore. Fair knight, said Palomides, meseemeth we have essayed either other passing sore, and if it may please thee, I require thee of thy knighthood tell me thy name. Sir, said the knight to Palomides, that is me loath to do, for thou hast done me wrong in no knighthood to proffer me battle, considering my great travail. But an thou wilt tell me thy name, I will tell thee mine. Sir, said he, wit thou well my name is Palomides. Ah, so ye shall understand my name is Sir Lamorak de Gales, son and heir unto the good knight and king, King Pellinore, and Sir Tor, the good knight, is my half-brother. When Sir Palomides heard him say, so he kneeled down and asked mercy, for outrageously have I done to you this day, considering the great deeds of arms I have seen you do, shamefully and unknightly I have required you to do battle. Aye, Sir Palomides, said Sir Lamorak, overmuch have ye done and said to me. And therewith he embraced him with his both hands, and said, Palomides, the worthy knight, in all this land is no better than ye, no more prowess, and me repented so that we should fight together. Chapter 20. How it was told Sir Lancelot that Dagonet chased King Mark, and how a knight overthrew him in 6 nights. Now turn we again. When Sir Ganis and Sir Brandiles with his fellows came to the court of King Arthur, they told the king, Sir Lancelot, and Sir Tristram, how Sir Dagonet, the fool, chased King Mark through the forest, and how the strong knight smote them down all 7 with one spear. There was great laughing and japing at King Mark and at Sir Dagonet, but all these knights could not tell what knight it was that rescued King Mark. Then they asked King Mark that he knew him, and he answered and said, he named himself the knight that followed the questing beast, and on that name he sent one of my varlets to a place where was his mother. And when she heard from whence he came, she made passing great dole, and discovered to my varlet his name, and said, Oh, my dear son, Sir Palomides, why wilt thou not see me? And therefore, sir, said King Mark, it is to understand his name is Sir Palomides, a noble knight. Then were all these 7 knights glad that they knew his name. Now turn we again, for on the morn they took their horses, both Sir Lamorak, Palomides, and Dinadan, with their squires and varlets, till they saw a fair castle that stood on a mountain well closed, and thither they rode. And there they found a knight that hight Galahad, that was lord of that castle, and there they had great cheer and were well eased. Sir Dinadan, said Sir Lamorak, what will ye do? O sir, said Dinadan, I will tomorrow to the court of King Arthur. By my head, said Sir Palomides, I will not ride these 3 days, for I am sore hurt, and much have I bled, and therefore I will repose me here. With that he saw him encounter with Sir Gawain, and he smote him down with so great force that he made his horse to avoid his saddle. How now? Said the king, Sir Gawain of the fall, woe were me, and I knew what knight he were with the red shield. I know him well, said Dinadan, but as at this time ye shall not know his name. By my head, said Sir Tristram, he jousted better than Sir Palomides, and if ye list to know his name, wit ye well his name is Sir Lamorak de Gales. Then soon after King Mark took his leave to ride into Cornwall, and Sir Tristram made him ready to ride with him, whereof the most part of the round table were rough and heavy, and in especial Sir Lancelot, and Sir Lamorak, and Sir Dinadan were rough out of measure. For well they wist King Mark would slay or destroy Sir Tristram. Alas, said Dinadan, that my lord, Sir Tristram, shall depart. And Sir Tristram took such sorrow that he was amazed like a fool. Alas, said Sir Lancelot unto King Arthur, what have ye done? For ye shall lose the most men of worship that ever came into your court. It was his own desire, said Arthur, and therefore I might not do withal, for I have done all that I can and made them at accord. Accord, said Sir Lancelot, fie upon that accord, for ye shall hear that he shall slay Sir Tristram, or put him in a prison, for he is the most coward and the villainous king and knight that is now living. Forsooth, it is known well wherefore ye came into this country, and for none other cause but for to slay Sir Tristram. So with great dole King Mark and Sir Tristram rode together, for it was by Sir Tristram's will and his means to go with King Mark, and all was to the intent to see La Beale Isoud, for without the sight of her Sir Tristram might not endure. Then at the dinner, when the king was at the table, and every knight after he was of prowess, the king commanded him to be set among me knights, and so was Sir Perceval set as the king commanded. Then was there a maiden in the queen's court that was come of high blood, and she was dumb and never spake word. Right so she came straight into the hall, and went unto Sir Perceval, and took him by the hand, and said aloud, that the king and all the knights might hear it, Arise, Sir Perceval, the noble knight and God's knight, and go with me. And so he did. And there she brought him to the right side of the siege perilous, and said, Fair knight, take here thy siege, for that siege appertaineth to thee and to none other. Now turn we unto Sir Lamorak, that much was there praised. Then, by the mean of Sir Gawain and his brethren, they sent for their mother there besides, fast by a castle beside Camelot, and all was to that intent to slay Sir Lamorak. The Queen of Orkney was there but a while, but Sir Lamorak was of their being, and was full fain, and for to make an end of this matter, he sent unto her, and there betwixt them was a night assigned that Sir Lamorak should come to her. Thereof was where Sir Gaheris, and there he rode afore the same night, and waited upon Sir Lamorak, and then he saw where he came all armed. And where Sir Lamorak alighted, he tied his horse to a privy postern, and so he went into a parlour and unarmed him, and then he went unto the Queen's bed, and she made of him passing great joy, and he of her again, for either loved other passing sore. So when the knight, Sir Gaheris, saw his time, he came to their bedside all armed, with his sword naked, and suddenly get his mother by the hair and struck off her head. When Sir Lamorak saw the blood dash upon him all hot, the which he loved passing well, wit you well he was so abashed and dismayed of that dolorous night. And thee withal, Sir Lamorak leapt out of the bed in his shirt as a knight dismayed, saying thus, Ah, Sir Gawain, knight of the Table Round, foul and evil have ye done, and to you great shame. Alas, why have ye slain your mother that bare you? With more right ye should have slain me. The offence hast thou done, said Gawain, notwithstanding a man is born to offer his service. But yet shouldst thou beware with whom thou meddlest, for thou hast put me and my brethren to a shame, and thy father slew our father, and now to lie by our mother is too much shame for us to suffer. But when it was known that Gawain had slain his mother, the king was passing wroth, and commanded him to go out of his court. Wit ye well Sir Gawain was wroth that Gawain had slain his mother, and let Sir Lamorak escape. And for this matter was the king passing wroth, and so was Sir Lancelot, and many other knights. Sir, said Sir Lancelot, here is a great mischief befallen by felony, and by forecast treason, that your sister is thus shamefully slain. And I dare say that it was wrought by treason, and I dare say ye shall lose a good knight, Sir Lamorak, the which is great pity. I wot well and am sure, and Sir Tristram wist it, he would never more come within your court, the which would grieve you much more and all your knights. God defend, said the noble King Arthur, that I should lose Sir Lamorak or Sir Tristram, for then twain of my chief knights of the Table Round were gone. Sir, said Sir Lancelot, I am sure ye shall lose Sir Lamorak, for Sir Gawain and his brethren will slay him by one mean or other, for they among them have concluded and sworn to slay him whenever they may see their time. That shall I let, said Arthur. That saw Sir Agravain, and straight he rode toward that knight, and right so as he served Morte, so he served Agravain, and said to them, Sirs, wit ye well both that I am bruised sworn's pite, that hath done this to you. And yet he rode over Agravain 5 or 6 times. When Dinadan saw this, he must needs joust with him for shame. And so Dinadan and he encountered together, that with pure strength Sir Dinadan smote him over his horse's tail. Then he took his horse and fled, for he was on foot one of the valiantest knights in Arthur's days, and a great destroyer of all good knights. Then rode Sir Dinadan unto Sir Mordred and unto Sir Gawain. Sir Knight, said they all, well have ye done, and well have ye revenged us. Wherefore we pray you tell us your name. Fair sirs, ye ought to know my name, the which is called Sir Dinadan. When they understood that it was Dinadan, they were more wroth than they were before, for they hated him out of measure because of Sir Lamorak. For Dinadan had such a custom that he loved all good knights that were valiant, and he hated all those that were destroyers of good knights. And there were none that hated Dinadan but those that ever were called murderers. Then spake the hurt knight that Briu Sornspite had chased, his name was Dalin, and said, If thou be Dinadan, thou slewest my father. It may well be so, said Dinadan, but then it was in my defence and at his request. By my head, said Dalin, thou shalt die therefore, and therewith he dressed his spear and his shield. And to make the shorter tale, Sir Dinadan smote him down off his horse, that his neck was nigh broken, and in the same wise he smote Sir Mordred and Sir Agravain. And after, in the quest of the Sangreal, cowardly and feloniously they slew Dinadan, the which was great damage, for he was a great border and a passing good knight. Now leave we Sir Palomides and Sir Dinadan in the castle of Bealvalle, and turn we again unto King Arthur. There came a knight out of Cornwall, his name was Fergus, a fellow of the Round Table. And they told the king and Sir Lancelot good tidings of Sir Tristram, and there were brought goodly letters, and how he left him in the castle of Tintagil. Then came the Deimos that brought goodly letters unto King Arthur and unto Sir Lancelot, and there she had passing good cheer of the king, and of the Queen Gniva, and of Sir Lancelot. Then they wrote goodly letters again. But Sir Lancelot bade ever Sir Tristram beware of King Mark, for ever he called him in his letters King Fox, as who saith, he fareth all with wiles and treason. Then we pray you, said La Beale Isoud and Sir Tristram, that when ye have received your letters, that ye would come by us that we may see the privity of your letters. All that I may do, madam, ye wot well I must do for Sir Tristram, for I have been long his own maiden. So on the morn the damosel went to King Mark to have had his letters and to depart. I am not avist, said King Mark, as at this time to send my letters. Then privily and secretly he sent letters unto King Arthur, and unto Queen Guinevere, and unto Sir Lancelot. So the varlet departed, and found the king and the queen in Wales at Carlion. And as the king and the queen were at mass, the varlet came with the letters. And when mass was done, the king and the queen opened the letters privily by themselves. And the beginning of the king's letters spake wonderly short unto King Arthur, and bade him enter meet with himself and with his wife, and of his knights, for he was able enough to rule and keep his wife. Chapter 27. How Sir Lancelot was wroth with the letter that he received from King Mark, and of Dinadan which made a lay of King Mark. When King Arthur understood the letter, he mused of many things, and thought on his sister's words, Queen Morgan le Fay, that she had said betwixt Queen Guinevere and Sir Lancelot. And in this thought he studied a great while. Then he bethought him again how his sister was his own enemy, and that she hated the queen and Sir Lancelot, and so he put all that out of his thought. Then King Arthur read the letter again, and the latter clause said that King Mark took Sir Tristram for his mortal enemy, wherefore he put Arthur out of doubt he would be revenged of Sir Tristram. Then was King Arthur wroth with King Mark. And when Queen Guinevere read a letter and understood it, she was wroth out of measure, for the letter spake shame by her and by Sir Lancelot. And so privily she sent the letter unto Sir Lancelot. And when he wist the intent of the letter, he was so wroth that he laid him down on his bed to sleep, whereof Sir Dinadan was wary, for it was his manner to be privy with all good knights. And as Sir Lancelot slept, he stole the letter out of his hand, and read it word by word. And then he made great sorrow for anger. And so Sir Lancelot awaked, and went to a window, and read the letter again, the which made him angry. So anon he went and made it, and taught it in harper that hight Eliot. And when he could it, he taught it to many harpers. And so by the will of Sir Lancelot, and of Arthur, the harpers went straight into Wales, and into Cornwall, to sing the lay that Sir Dinadan made by King Mark, the which was the worst lay that ever harper sang with harp or with any other instruments. Chapter 28. How Sir Tristram was hurt, and of a war made to King Mark, and of Sir Tristram how he promised to rescue him. And thus the battle endured long with great mortality. But at the last King Mark and Sir Dinas, were they never so loath, they withdrew them to the castle of Tintagil with great slaughter of people, and the Cessanes followed on fast, that 10 of them were put within the gates and 4 slain with the portcullis. Chapter 29. How Sir Tristram overcame the battle, and how Elias desired a man to fight body for body. Then they ordained their battle in 4 parties, wonderly well apparelled and garnished with men of arms. Thus they were then issued, and they without set freely upon them. And there Sir Dinas did great deeds of arms. Not for then Sir Dinas and his fellowship were put to the worse. With that came Sir Tristram and slew 2 knights with 1 spear. Then he slew on the right hand and on the left hand, that men marvelled that ever he might do such deeds of arms. And then he might see sometime the battle was driven a bow draft from the castle, and sometime it was at the gates of the castle. Then came Elias the captain rushing here and there, and hit King Mark so sore upon the helm that he made him to avoid the saddle. And then Sir Dinas gat King Mark again to horseback. Therewithal came in Sir Tristram like a lion, and there he met with Elias, and he smote him so sore upon the helm that he avoided his saddle. And thus they fought till it was night, and for great slaughter and for wounded people ever like party drew to their rest. Chapter 30. How Sir Elias and Sir Tristram fought together for the truage, and how Sir Tristram slew Elias in the field. That saw Sir Elias, and followed fiercely upon him, and wounded him in many places. And ever Sir Tristram traced and traversed, and went froward him here and there, and covered him with his shield as he might all weakly, that all men said he was overcome, for Sir Elias had given him 20 strokes against 1. Then began King Mark to laugh, and all Cornish men, and that other party to weep. And ever Sir Tristram said to Sir Elias, Yield thee. Then when Sir Tristram saw him so staggering on the ground, he said, Sir Elias, I am right sorry for thee, for thou art a passing good knight as ever I met withal, except Sir Lancelot. Therewithal Sir Elias fell to the earth, and there died. What shall I do? Said Sir Tristram unto King Mark, for this battle is at an end. Then they of Elias' party departed, and King Mark took of them many prisoners, to redress the harms and the scathes that he had of them, and the remnant he sent into their country to borrow out their fellows. Then was Sir Tristram searched and well healed. Yet for all this King Mark would fain have slain Sir Tristram. But for all that ever Sir Tristram saw or heard by King Mark, yet would he never beware of his treason, but ever he would be there as La Beale Isoud was. Chapter 31. How at a great feast that King Mark made and harper came and sang the lay that Dinadan had made. Now will we pass of this matter, and speak we of the harpers that Sir Lancelot and Sir Dinadan had sent into Cornwall. And at the great feast that King Mark made for joy that the Sessanes were put out of his country, then came Eliot the harper with the lay that Dinadan had made, and secretly brought it unto Sir Tristram, and told him the lay that Dinadan had made by King Mark. And when Sir Tristram heard it, he said, O Lord Jesu, that Dinadan can make wonderly well and ill, therein as it shall be. Sir, said Eliot, dare I sing this song afore King Mark? Yea, on my peril, said Sir Tristram, for I shall be thy warrant. Then at the meat came in Eliot the harper, and because he was a curious harper, men heard him sing the same lay that Dinadan had made, the which spake the most villainy by King Mark of his treason that ever man heard. Chapter XZ. How King Mark slew by treason his brother Bodvin, for good service that he had done to him. And at point of the day, the good Prince Bodvin with all his fellowship set on the miscreants with shouts and cries, and slew to the number of 40,000, and left none alive. And when they had dined, King Mark sent for his brother, and said thus, Brother, how sped you when the miscreants arrived by you? Meseemeth it had been your part to have sent me word, that I might have been at that journey, for it had been reason that I had had the honour and not you. Sir, said the Prince Baldwin, it was so that an I had tarried till that I had sent for you those miscreants had destroyed my country. Thou liest, false traitor, said King Mark, for thou art ever about for to win worship from me, and put me to dishonour, and thou cherishest that I hate. And therewith he struck him to the heart with a dagger, that he never after spake word. Then the Lady Anglides made great dole, and swooned, for she saw a lord slain afore her face. Then was there no more to do, but Prince Baldwin was despoiled and brought to burial. But Anglides privily get her husband's doublet and his shirt, and that she kept secretly. Then was there much sorrow and crying, and great dole made Sir Tristram, Sir Dinas, Sir Fergus, and so did all knights that were there, for that prince was passingly well beloved. So La Beale Isoud sent unto Anglides, the Prince Bodvin's wife, and bade her avoid lightly, or else a young son, Alisander or Phelan, should be slain. When she heard this, she took a horse and a child, and rode with such poor men as durst ride with her. Notwithstanding, when King Mark had done this deed, yet he thought to do more vengeance, and with his sword in his hand, he sought from chamber to chamber, to seek Anglides and her young son. And when she was missed, he called a good knight that hight Sadoc, and charged him by pain of death to fetch Anglides again and her young son. So Sir Sadoc departed and rode after Anglides, and within 10 mile he overtook her, and bade her turn again and ride with him to King Mark. Alas, fair knight, she said, what shall you win by my son's death or by mine? I have had overmuch harm and too great a loss. Madam, said Sadoc, of your losses dole and pity. But madam, said Sadoc, would he depart out of this country with your son, and keep him till he be of age, that he may revenge his father's death, then would I suffer you to depart from me, so you promise me to revenge the death of Prince Baldwin. Ah, gentle knight, Jesu thank thee, and if ever my son, Alisander or Orphelin, live to be a knight, he shall have his father's doublet and his shirt with the bloody marks, and I shall give him such a charge that he shall remember it while he liveth. And therewithal Sadoc departed from her, and either betook other to God. And when Sadoc came to King Mark, he told him faithfully that he had drowned young Alisander her son, and thereof King Mark was full glad. Now turn we unto Anglides, that rode both night and day by adventure out of Cornwall, and little and in few places she rested. But ever she drew southward to the seaside, till by fortune she came to a castle that is called Magowns, and now it is called Arundel, in Sussex. And the constable of the castle welcomed her, and said she was welcome to her own castle. And there was Anglides worshipfully received, for the constable's wife was nigh a cousin, and the constable's name was Belengie. And that same constable told Anglides that the same castle was hers by right inheritance. Thus Anglides endured years and winters, till Alisander was big and strong. There was none so wide in all the country, neither there was none that might do no manner of mastery afore him. Chapter 34. How Anglides gave the bloody doublet to Alisander, her son, the same day that he was made knight, and the charge withal. Then upon a day Belanger the constable came to Anglides and said, Madam, it were time my lord Alisander were made knight, for he is a passing strong young man. Sir, said she, I would he were made knight, but then must I give him a most charge that ever sinful mother gave to her child. Do as ye list, said Belanger, and I shall give him warning that he shall be made knight. Now it will be well done that he may be made knight at our Lady Day in Lent. Be it so, said Anglides, and I pray you make ready therefore. So came the constable to Alisander, and told him that he should at our Lady Day in Lent be made knight. I thank God, said Alisander, these are the best tidings that ever came to me. Then one of those knights departed unto King Mark, and told him all, how Alisander was made knight, and all the charge that his mother gave him, as ye have heard aforetime. Alas, false treason, said King Mark, I ween that young traitor had been dead. Alas, whom may I trust? And therewithal King Mark took a sword in his hand, and sought Sir Sadok from chamber to slay him. When Sir Sadok saw King Mark come with his sword in his hand, he said thus, Beware, King Mark, and come not nigh me, for wit thou well I saved Alisander his life, of which I never repent me, for thou falsely and cowardly slew his father Baldwin, traitorly for his good deeds. Wherefore I pray Almighty Jesu send Alisander might and strength to be revenged upon thee. And now beware King Mark of young Alisander, for he is made a knight. Alas, said King Mark, that ever I should hear a traitor say so afore me. And therewith 4 knights of King Mark's drew their swords to slay Sir Sadok, but anon Sir Sadok slew them all in King Mark's presence. Then they lashed together fiercely, and at the last Alisander smote Malgrin to the earth. And then he raced off his helm, and smote off his head lightly. And when he had done and ended this battle, anon he called to him his varlet, the which brought him his horse. And then he, weening to be strong enough, would have mounted. And so she laid Sir Alisander in an horse litter, and led him into the castle, for he had no foot nor might to stand upon the earth, for he had 16 great wounds, and in especial one of them was like to be his death. And then he kissed her, and did to her pleasance as it pleased them both at times and leisures. And when the fire was done, he let make a cry that he would keep that piece of earth there is the castle of La Beale regard was a 12-month and a day, from all men and knights that would come. So it happed there was a duke that hight Encyrus, and he was of the kin of Sir Lancelot. And this knight was a great pilgrim, for every 3rd year he would be at Jerusalem. And because he used all his life to go in pilgrimage, men called him Duke Encyrus the Pilgrim. And this duke had a daughter that hight Alice, that was a passing fair woman, and because of her father she was called Alice La Beale Pilgrim. And anon as she heard of this cry, she went unto Arthur's court, and said openly in hearing of many knights, that what knight may overcome that knight that keepeth that piece of earth shall have me in all my lands. When the knights of the Round Table heard her say, thus many were glad, for she was passing fair and of great rents. Right so she let cry in castles and towns as fast on her side as Alisander did on his side. Then she dressed a pavilion straight by the piece of the earth that Alisander kept. So she was not so soon there, but there came a knight of Arthur's court that hight Sagramore the Desirous, and he proffered to joust with Alisander, and they encountered, and Sagramore the Desirous breathed a spear upon Sir Alisander, but Sir Alisander smote him so hard that he avoided his saddle. And when La Beale Alice saw him joust so well, she thought him a passing goodly knight on horseback. Chapter 39. How Alisander met with Alice La Beale Pilgrim, and how he jousted with 2 knights, and after of him and of Sir Mordred. Right so came the false knight Sir Mordred, and saw Sir Alisander was assotted upon his lady. And therewithal he took his horse by the bridle, and led him here and there, and had cause to have led him out of that place to have shamed him. When the damosel that helped him out of that castle saw how shamefully he was led, Anon she let arm her, and set a shield upon her shoulder, and therewith she mounted upon his horse, and get a naked sword in her hand, and she thrust unto Alisander with all her might, and she gave him such a buffet that he thought the fire flew out of his iron. And when Alisander felt that stroke, he looked about him, and drew his sword. Then Sir Alisander jousted thus day by day, and on foot he did many battles with many knights of King Arthur's court, and with many knight strangers. Therefore to tell all the battles that he did, it were overmatched to rehearse. For every day within the 12-month he had to do with one knight or with other, and some day he had to do with 3 or with 4. And there was never knight that put him to the worse. And at the 12 months' end he departed with his lady, Alisla Beale Pilgrim. And the damosel would never go from him. And so they went into their country of Benoy, and lived there in great joy. Chapter 40. How Sir Galahad did do cry a joust in Surlus, and Queen Guinevere's knight should joust against all that would come. But as the book saith, King Mark would never stint till he had slain him by treason. And by Alice he get a child that hight Belengerus Labuse. And by good fortune he came to the court of King Arthur, and proved a passing good knight. And he revenged his father's death, for the false King Mark slew both Sir Tristram and Alisander falsely and feloniously. And it happed so that Alisander had never grace nor fortune to come to King Arthur's court. For when he had come to Sir Lancelot, all knights said that knew him, he was one of the strongest knights that was in Arthur's days, and great dole was made for him. So let we of him pass, and turn we to another tale. So it befell that Sir Galahad, the Haut Prince, was lord of the country of Surlus, whereof came many good knights. And this noble prince was a passing good man of arms, and ever he held a noble fellowship together. And then he came to Arthur's court and told him his intent, how this was his will, how he would let cry a joust in the country of Surlus, the which country was within the lands of King Arthur, and there he asked leave to let cry a jousts. I will give you leave, said King Arthur, but wit thou well, said King Arthur, I may not be there. Sir, said Queen Guinevere, please it you to give me leave to be at that joust. With right good will, said Arthur, for Sir Galahad, the Haut Prince, shall have you in governance. Sir, said Galahad, I will as ye will. Sir, then the queen, I will take with me in such knights as please me best. Do as ye list, said King Arthur. So anon she commanded Sir Lancelot to make him ready with such knights as he thought best. So in every good town and castle of this land was made a cry, that in the country of Surlus Sir Galahad should make a joust that should last 8 days, and how the Haut Prince, with the help of Queen Guinevere's knights, should joust against all manner of men that would come. When this cry was known, kings and princes, dukes and earls, barons and noble knights, made them ready to be at that jousts. And at the day of jousting there came in Sir Dinadan disguised, and did many great deeds of arms. Chapter 41. How Sir Lancelot fought in the tournament, and how Sir Palomides did arms there for a damosel. Then at the request of Queen Guinevere and of King Bagdemagus, Sir Lancelot came into the range, but he was disguised, and that was the cause that few folk knew him. And there met with him Sir Ector de Maris, his own brother, and either brake their spears upon other to their hands. And then either get another spear. And then Sir Lancelot smote down Sir Ector de Maris, his own brother, that saw Sir Bleoberis. And he smote Sir Lancelot such a buffet upon the helm that he wist not well where he was. Then Sir Lancelot was wrothy and smote Sir Bleoberis so sore upon the helm that his head bowed down backward. And he smote after another buffet, that he avoided his saddle. And so he rode by, and thrust forth to the thickest. When the king of Northgalis saw Sir Ector and Bleoberis lie on the ground, then was he wroth, for they came on his party against them of Surlus. So the king of Northgalis ran to Sir Lancelot, and brake a spear upon him all to pieces. Therewith Sir Lancelot overtook the king of Northgalis, and smote him such a buffet on the helm with his sword that he made him to avoid his horse. And anon the king was hoarse again. So both the king Bagdemagus and the king of Northgalis party hurled to other, and then began a strong medley, but they of Northgalis were far bigger. So then Palomides disguised himself in this manner. In his shield he bare the questing beast, and in all his trappings. And when he was thus ready, he sent to the Haut Prince to give him leave to joust with other knights, but he was doubted of Sir Lancelot. The Haut Prince sent him word again that he should be welcome, and that Sir Lancelot should not joust with him. Then Sir Galahad, the haut prince, let cry what knight somber he would that smote down Sir Palomides should of his damos to himself. So there came the good knight, Sir Mound the Valiant, with 40 knights, and he beat them all aback. Then the Queen Guinevere and Sir Lancelot let blow to lodging, and every knight unarmed him, and dressed him to the feast. When Palomides was unarmed, he asked lodging for himself and the damos. Anon the haut prince commanded them to lodging. And he was not so soon in his lodging, but there came a knight that hight Arcade. He was brother unto Gonres that Palomides slew afore in the Damos's quarrel. And this knight, Arcade, called Sir Palomides traitor, and appealed him for the death of his brother. By the leave of the haut prince, said Palomides, I shall answer thee. When Sir Galahad understood their quarrel, he bade them go to dinner. And as soon as ye have dined, look that either knight be ready in the field. Then by adventure Sir Palomides, the good knight, met with Sir Blamor de Gonys, Sir Bleoberis' brother, and either smote other with great spears, that both their horses and knights fell to the earth. But Sir Blamor had such a fall that he had almost broken his neck, for the blood brast out at nose, mouth, and his ears. But at the last he recovered well by good surgeons. Then there came in the Duke Chalanes of Clarence, and in his governance there came a knight that hight Elis Lanwell, and there encountered with him King Bagdemagus, and he smote Elis that he made him to avoid his saddle. Then the haut prince and Sir Lancelot said they saw never two knights fight better than they did, but ever the strange knight doubled his strokes, and put Palomides aback. Therewithal the haut prince cried, Ho! And then they went to lodging. And when they were unarmed, they knew it was the noble knight Sir Lamorak. When Sir Lancelot knew that it was Sir Lamorak, he made much of him, for above all earthly men he loved him best except Sir Tristram. Then Queen Guinevere commended him, and so did all other good knights make much of him, except Sir Gawain's brethren. Then Queen Guinevere said unto Sir Lancelot, Sir, I require you that an ye joust any more, that ye joust with none of the blood of my lord Arthur. So he promised he would not as at that time. Here beginneth the 4th day. Then came into the field the king with the 100 knights, and all they of North Gallis, and the Duke Chalanes of Clarence, and King Marsil of Pomertain. And there came Sophie, Palomides' brother, and they told him tidings of his mother. And his name was called the Earl, and so he appealed him afore King Arthur. For he made war upon our father and mother, and there I slew him in plain battle. So they went into the field, and the damosel with them. And there came to encounter again them Sir Bleoberis de Ganys, and Sir Ector de Maris. Sir Palomides encountered with Sir Bleoberis, and either smote other down. And in the same wise did Sir Saphir and Sir Ector, and the two couples did battle on foot. Then the two kings gathered them together, and all they set upon Sir Lamorak, and he failed them not, but rushed here and there, smiting on the right hand and on the left, and raced off many helms, so that the haut prince and Queen Guinevere said they saw never knight do such deeds of arms on horseback. Alas, said Lancelot to King Bagdemagus, I will arm me and help Sir Lamorak, and I will ride with you, said King Bagdemagus. And when they two were horsed, they came to Sir Lamorak that stood among 30 knights, and well was him that might reach him a buffet, and ever he smote again mightily. Then came there into the press Sir Lancelot, and he threw down Sir Maître de la Porte, and with the truncheon of that spear he threw down many knights. But when Sir Lamorak was come into the court, Queen Guinevere took him in her arms, and said, Sir, well have ye done this day. Then came the haut prince, and he made of him great joy, and so did Dinadan, for he wept for joy, but the joy that Sir Lancelot made of Sir Lamorak there might no man tell. Then they went unto rest, and on the morn the haut prince let blow unto the field. Chapter 46. Of the 5th day, and how Sir Lamorak behaved him. Here beginneth the 5th day. So it befell that Sir Palomides came in the morntide, and proffered to joust therein as King Arthur was in a castle there beside Surlis. And there encountered with him a worshipful duke, and there Sir Palomides smote him over his horse's croup. And this duke was uncle unto King Arthur. Then Sir Elise's son rode unto Palomides, and Palomides served Elise in the same wise. When Sir Uwaine saw this he was wroth. Then he took his horse and encountered with Sir Palomides, and Palomides smote him so hard that he went to the earth, horse and man. And for to make a short tale, he smote down 3 brethren of Sir Gawain, that is for to say Mordred, Gaheris, and Agravain. O Jesu, said Arthur, this is a great despite of a Saracen that he shall smite down my blood. And therewithal King Arthur was with wrath, and thought to have made him ready to joust. That espied Sir Lamorak, that Arthur in his blood would discomfit, and anon he was ready, and asked Palomides if he would any more joust. Why should I not? Said Palomides. Then they hurtled together, and brake their spears, and all to shivered them, that all the castle rang of their dints. Then either get a greater spear in his hand, and they came so fiercely together, but Sir Palomides' spear all to brast, and Sir Lamorak's did hold. Therewithal Sir Palomides lost his stirrups, and lay upright on his horse's back. And then Sir Palomides returned again, and took his damosel, and Sir Sophia returned his way. So, when he was departed, King Arthur came to Sir Lamorak, and thanked him of his goodness, and prayed him to tell him his name. Sir, said Lamorak, wit thou well, I owe you my service, but as at this time I will not abide here, for I see of mine enemies many about me. Alas, said Arthur, now wot I well it is Sir Lamorak de Gales. O Lamorak, abide with me, and by my crown I shall never fail thee, and not so hardy in Gawain's head, nor none of his brethren, to do thee any wrong. Sir, said Sir Lamorak, wrong have they done me, and to you both. That is truth, said the king, for they slew their own mother and my sister, the which me so grieveth. It had been much fairer and better that ye had wedded her, for ye are a king's son as well as they. O Jesu, said the noble knight Sir Lamorak unto Arthur, her death shall I never forget. I promise you, and make mine a vow unto God, I shall revenge her death as soon as I see time convenable. And if it were not at the reverence of your highness, I should now have been revenged upon Sir Gawain and his brethren. Truly, said Arthur, I will make you at accord. Sir, said Lamorak, as at this time I may not abide with you, for I must of the joust, where is Sir Lancelot, and the haut prince Sir Galahad. Chapter 47. How Sir Palomides fought with Corsabrin for a lady, and how Palomides slew Corsabrin. So by fortune this Damos heard tell that Palomides did much for damosel's sake, so she sent him a pencil, and prayed him to fight with Sir Corsabrin for her love, and he should have her and her lands of her fathers that should fall to her. Then the damosel sent unto Corsabrin, and bade him go unto Sir Palomides that was apaying him as well as he, and she gave him warning that she had sent him a pensail, and if he might overcome Palomides she would wed him. When Corsabrin wist of her deeds, then was he with wrath and angry, and rode unto Surlus where the haut prince was, and they found Sir Palomides ready, the which had the pensail, so that they waged battle either with other for Galahad. Well, said the haut prince, this day must noble knights joust, and at after dinner we shall see how ye can speed. Then they blew to joust, and in came Dinadan, and met with Sir Gerin, a good knight, and he threw him down over his horse's croup. And Sir Dinadan overthrew 4 knights more, and they did great deed of arms. For he was a good knight, but he was a scoffer and a japer, and the merriest knight among fellowship that was that time living. And he had such a custom that he loved every good knight, and every good knight loved him again. So then when the haut prince saw Dinadan do so well, he sent unto Sir Lancelot, and bade him strike down Sir Dinadan. And when that ye have done so, bring him afore me and the noble Queen Guinevere. Then Sir Lancelot did as he was required. Then Sir Lamorak and he smote down many knights, and raced off helms, and drove all the knights afore them. And so Sir Lancelot smote down Sir Dinadan, and made his men to unarm him, and so brought him to the queen and the haut prince. And they laughed at Dinadan so sore that they might not stand. Well, said Sir Dinadan, yet have I no shame, for the old shrew, Sir Lancelot, smote me down. So they went to dinner. All the court had good sport at Dinadan. Then when the dinner was done, they blew to the field to behold Sir Palomides and Corsabrin. Sir Palomides pied his pensail in midst of the field, and then they hurtled together with their spears as it were thunder, and either smote other to the earth. And then they pulled out their swords, and dressed their shields, and lashed together mightily as mighty knights, that well nigh there was no piece of harness would hold them. For this Corsabrin was a passing felonious knight. Corsabrin, said Palomides, Wilt thou release me yonder damosel in the pen sail? Then was Corsabrin rough out of measure, and gave Palomides such a buffet that he kneeled on his knee. Then Palomides arose lightly, and smote him upon the helm that he fell down right to the earth. And therewith he raised off his helm and said, Corsabrin, yield thee, or else thou shalt die of my hands. Fie on thee, said Corsabrin, do thy worst. Then he smote off his head. And therewithal came a stink of his body when the soul departed, that there might nobody abide the savour. So was the corpse had away and buried in a wood, because he was a paynim. Then they blew unto lodging, and Palomides was unarmed. Then he went unto Queen Guinevere, to the haut prince, and to Sir Lancelot. Sir, said the haut prince, here have ye seen this day a great miracle by Corsabrin, what savour there was when the soul departed from the body. Therefore, sir, we will require you to take the baptism upon you, and I promise you all knights will set them all by you, and say more worship by you. Sir, said Palomides, I will let ye all know that into this land I came to be christened, and in my heart I am christened, and christened will I be. But I have made such an avow that I may not be christened till I have done 7 true battles for Jesu's sake, and then will I be christened, and I trust God will take mine intent, for I mean truly. Then Sir Palomides prayed Queen Guinevere and the haut prince to sup with him, and so they did, both Sir Lancelot and Sir Lamorak, and many other good knights. So on the morn they heard their mass, and blew the field, and then knights made them ready. Chapter 48. Of the 6th day, and what then was done. Here beginneth the 6th day. Then came therein Sir Gaheris, and there encountered with him Sir Assays of Surlus, and Sir Gaheris smote him over his horse's croup. And then either party encountered with other, and there were many spears broken, and many knights cast under feet. So there came in Sir Dornade and Sir Aglaval, that were brethren unto Sir Lamorak, and they met with other 2 knights, and either smote other so hard that all 4 knights and horses fell to the earth. When Sir Lamorak saw his 2 brethren down, he was rough out of measure, and then he get a great spear in his hand, and therewithal he smote down 4 good knights, and then his spear brake. Then he pulled out his sword, and smote about him on the right hand and on the left hand, and raced off helms and pulled down knights, that all men marvelled of such deeds of arms as he did, for he fared so that many knights fled. Then he horsed his brethren again, and said, Brethren, ye ought to be ashamed to fall so off your horses. What is a knight but when he is on horseback? I set not by a knight when he is on foot. For all battles on foot are but pillars' battles. For there should no knight fight on foot but if it were for treason, or else he were driven thereto by force. Therefore, brethren, sit fast on your horses, or else fight nevermore for me. With that came in the Duke Chalanes of Clarence. And there encountered with him the Earl Albors of Surlus, and either of them smote other down. Then the knights of both parties horsed their lords again, for Sir Ector and Bleoberis were on foot, waiting on the Duke Chalanes. And the king with the 100 knights was with the Earl of Albors. With that came Gaheris, and lashed to the king with the 100 knights, and he to him again. Then came the Duke Chalanes, and departed them. Then they blew to lodging, and the knights unarmed them, and drew them to their dinner. And at the midst of their dinner in came Dinadan, and began to rail. Then he beheld the haut prince, that seemed rough with some fault that he saw, for he had a custom he loved no fish, and because he was served with fish, the which he hated, therefore he was not merry. When Sir Dinadan had espied the haut prince, he espied where was a fish with a great head, and that he gat betwixt 2 dishes, and served the haut prince with that fish. And then he said thus, Sir Galahad, well may I liken you to a wolf, for he will never eat fish, but flesh. Then the haut prince laughed at his words. So Sir Dinadan departed and took his horse, and met with many knights, and did passing well. And as he was departed, Sir Lancelot disguised himself, and put upon his armour a maiden's garment freshly attired. Then Sir Lancelot made Sir Galahad to lead him through the range, and all men had wonder what damosel it was. And so as Sir Dinadan came into the range, Sir Lancelot, that was in the damosel's away, gat Galahad in spear, and ran unto Sir Dinadan. And always Sir Dinadan looked up there as Sir Lancelot was, and then he saw one sit in the stead of Sir Lancelot, armed. Then by all the assent they gave Sir Lancelot the prize. The next was Sir Lamorak de Gales, the third was Sir Palomides, the fourth was King Bagdemagus, So these 4 knights had the prize, and there was great joy and great nobly in all the court. But to say that I should trust them, that shall I never, and therefore I pray you recommend me unto my lord Arthur, and unto all my lords of the Round Table. And in what place that ever I come I shall do you service to my power. And so, it is but late that I revenge that, when my lord Arthur's kin were put to the worst by Sir Palomides. Then Sir Lamorak departed from Sir Lancelot, and either wept at their departing. Then King Mark bethought him that he would have Sir Tristram unto that tournament disguised that no man should know him, to that intent that the haut prince should ween that Sir Tristram was Sir Lancelot. So at these jousts came in Sir Tristram. And at that time Sir Lancelot was not there, but when they saw a knight disguised do such deeds of arms, they weened it had been Sir Lancelot. And in especial King Mark said it was Sir Lancelot plainly. Then they set upon him, both King Bagdemagus, and the haut prince, and their knights, that it was wonder that ever Sir Tristram might endure the pain. When Sir Dinas understood that King Mark would go upon the miscreants, then Sir Dinas in all the haste put down all the people, and when the people were departed every man to his home, then King Mark espied where was Sir Tristram with La Beale Isoud, and there by treason King Mark let take him and put him in prison, contrary to his promise that he made unto Sir Perceval. Then La Beale Isoud and Sir Tristram took their vessel, and came by water into this land. And so they were not in this land 4 days, but there came a cry of a joust and tournament that King Arthur let make. When Sir Tristram heard tell of that tournament, he disguised himself, and La Beale Isoud, and rode unto that tournament. And when he came there, he saw many knights joust and tourney. And so Sir Tristram dressed him to the range, and to make short conclusion, he overthrew 14 knights of the Round Table. When Sir Lancelot saw these knights thus overthrown, Sir Lancelot dressed him to Sir Tristram, that saw La Beale Isoud how Sir Lancelot was come into the field. So Sir Lancelot departed unto King Arthur, and then he told Queen Guinevere how he had jousted so well at the last tournament with Sir Tristram. And there he told her how he had with him La Beale Isoud maugre King Mark. And so Queen Guinevere told all this unto King Arthur. When King Arthur wist that Sir Tristram was escaped and come from King Mark, and had brought La Beale Isoud with him, then was he passing glad. So because of Sir Tristram, King Arthur let make a cry, that on May Day should be a joust before the castle of Lonazep, and that castle was fast by Joyous Gard. And thus Arthur devised that all the knights of this land, and of Cornwall, and of North Wales, should joust against all these countries, Ireland, Scotland, and the remnant of Wales, and the country of Gaul and Surlus, and of Listinois, and they of Northumberland, and all they that held lands of Arthur on this half the sea. When this cry was made, many knights were glad, and many were unglad. Sir, said Lancelot unto Arthur, by this cry that ye have made, ye will put us be about you in great jeopardy, for there be many knights that have great envy to us. Therefore, when we shall meet at the day of joust, there will be hard shift among us. As for that, said Arthur, I care not. There shall we prove who shall be best of his hands. So when Sir Lancelot understood wherefore King Arthur made this jousting, then he made such prevents that La Beale Isoud should behold the joust in a secret place that was honest for her estate. First to the uncoupling, to the seeking, to the recate, to the flight, to the death, and to strake, and many other blasts and terms, that all manner of gentlemen have cause to the world's end to praise Sir Tristram, and to pray for his soul. Chapter 53. How by the counsel of La Beale Isoud Sir Tristram rode armed, and how he met with Sir Palomides. So on a day La Beale Isoud said unto Sir Tristram, I marvel me much, said she, that you remember not yourself, how ye be here in a strange country, and here be many perilous knights. And well ye what that King Mark is full of treason, and that ye will ride thus to chase, and to hunt unarmed ye might be destroyed. My fair lady and my love, I cry you mercy, I will no more do so. So then Sir Tristram rode daily a-hunting armed, and his men bearing his shield and his spear. So on a day a little afore the month of May, Sir Tristram chased an hart passing eagerly, and so the hart passed by farewell. And then Sir Tristram alighted and put off his helm to drink of that bubbly water. Right so he heard and saw the questing beast come to the well. When Sir Tristram saw that beast, he put on his helm, for he deemed he should hear of Sir Palomides, for that beast was his quest. Right so Sir Tristram saw where came a knight armed upon a noble courser, and he saluted him, and they spake of many things. And this knight's name was Breuse Saunce Pite. And right so withal there came unto them the noble knight Sir Palomides, and either saluted other, and spake fair to other. Fair knights, said Sir Palomides, I can tell you tidings. What is that? Said those knights. So's, wit ye well that King Mark is put in prison by his own knights, and all was for love of Sir Tristram. For King Mark had put Sir Tristram twice in prison, and once Sir Perceval had delivered the noble knight Sir Tristram out of prison. And at the last time Queen La Beale Isaud delivered him, and went clearly away with him into this realm. And all this while King Mark, the false traitor, is in prison. Is this truth? Said Palomides, then shall we hastily hear of Sir Tristram. And effort to say that I love La Beale Isaud paramours, I dare make good that I do, and that she had my service above all other ladies, and shall have the term of my life. And right so as they stood talking, they saw afore them where came a knight all armed, on a great horse, and one of his men bare his shield, and the other his spear. And anon as that knight espied them, he get his shield and his spear, and dressed him to joust. Fair fellows, said Sir Tristram, yonder is a knight will joust with us. Let's see which of us shall encounter with him, for I see well he is of the court of King Arthur. It shall not be long when we be met withal, said Sir Palomides, for I found never no knight in my quest of this glasting beast, but an he would joust I never refuse him. As well may I, said Breuse Saunce Pite, follow that beast as ye. Then shall ye do battle with me, said Palomides. So Sir Palomides dressed him unto that other knight, Sir Bleoberis, that was a full noble knight, nigh kin unto Sir Lancelot. And so they met so hard that Sir Palomides fell to the earth, horse and all. Then Sir Bleoberis cried aloud and said thus, Make thee ready, thou false traitor knight, Breuse Saunce Pite, for with thou certainly I will have ado with thee to the utterance for the noble knights and ladies that thou hast falsely betrayed. When this false knight and traitor, Breuse Saunce Pite, heard him say so, he took his horse by the bridle and fled his way as fast as ever his horse might run, for sore he was of him afeard. When Sir Bleoberis saw him flee, he followed fast after, through thick and through thin. And by fortune as Sir Breuse fled, he saw even afore him 3 knights of the Table Round, of the which the one hight Sir Ector de Maris, the other hight Sir Perceval de Gales, the third hight Sir Harry le Fislake, a good knight and an hardy. And as for Sir Perceval, he was called at time of his time one of the best knights of the world, and the best assured. When Breuse saw these knights, he rode straight unto them, and cried unto them and prayed them of rescues. What need have ye? Said Sir Ector. Ah, fair knights, said Sir Breuse, here followeth me the most traitor knight, and most coward, and most of villainy. His name is Breuse Saunce Pite, and if he may get me, he will slay me without mercy and pity. Abide with us, said Sir Perceval, and we shall warrant you. Then were they ware of Sir Bleoberis that came riding all that he might. Then Sir Ector put himself forth to joust afore them all. When Sir Bleoberis saw that they were 4 knights and he but himself, he stood in a doubt whether he would turn or hold his way. Then he said to himself, I am a knight of the Table Round, and rather than I should shame mine oath and my blood, I will hold my way whatsoever fall thereof. And then Sir Ector dressed his spear, and smote I the other passing sore, but Sir Ector fell to the earth. That saw Sir Perceval, and he dressed his horse toward him all that he might drive, but Sir Perceval had such a stroke that horse and man fell to the earth. When Sir Harry saw that they were both to the earth, then he said to himself, Never was Breuse of such prowess. So Sir Harry dressed his horse, and they met together so strongly that both the horses and knights fell to the earth, but Sir Bleoberis' horse began to recover again. That saw Breuse, and he came hurtling, and smote him over and over, and would have slain him as he lay on the ground. Then Sir Harry le Fislake arose lightly, and took the bridle of Sir Breuse' horse, and said, Fie for shame. Strike never a knight when he is at the earth, for this knight may be called no shameful knight of his deeds. For yet as men may see theory as he leath on the ground, he had done worshipfully, and put to the worst passing good knights. Therefore will I not let, said Sir Breuse. Thou shalt not choose, said Sir Harry, as at this time. Then when Sir Breuse saw that he might not choose nor have his will, he spake fair. Then Sir Harry let him go. And then anon he made his horse to run over Sir Bleoberis, and rashed him to the earth like if he would have slain him. When Sir Harry saw him do so villainously, he cried, "Traitor knight, leave off for shame." And as Sir Harry would have taken his horse to fight with Sir Breuse, then Sir Breuse ran upon him as he was half upon his horse, and smote him down, horse and man, to the earth, and had near slain Sir Harry, the good knight, that saw Sir Percivale. And then he cried, "Traitor knight, what dost thou?" And when Sir Percivale was upon his horse, Sir Breuse took his horse and fled all that ever he might. And Sir Percivale and Sir Harry followed after him fast, but ever the longer they chased, the farther were they behind. Then they turned again and came to Sir Ector de Maris and to Sir Bleoberis. "Ah, fair knights," said Bleoberis, "why have ye succoured that false knight and traitor?" "Why," said Sir Harry, "what knight is he? For well I wot it is a false knight," said Sir Harry, "and a coward and a felonious knight." "Sir," said Bleoberis, "he is a most coward knight, and a devourer of ladies, and a destroyer of good knights, and especially of Arthur's." "What is your name?" said Sir Ector. "My name is Sir Bleoberis de Ganis." "Alas, fair cousin," said Ector, "forgive it me, for I am Sir Ector de Maris." Then Sir Percivale and Sir Harry made great joy that they met with Bleoberis. But all they were heavy that Sir Breuse was escaped them, whereof they made great dole. Chapter 54 of Sir Palomides, and how he met with Sir Bleoberis and with Sir Ector, and of Sir Pivavale. Right so as they stood, thus there came Sir Palomides. And when he saw the shield of Bleoberis lie on the earth, then said Palomides, "He that oweth that shield, let him dress him to me. For he smote me down here fast by a fountain, and therefore I will fight for him on foot." "I am ready," said Bleoberis, "here to answer thee. For wit thou well, Sir Knight, it was I, and my name is Bleoberis de Ganis." "Well art thou met," said Palomides, "and wit thou well my name is Palomides the Saracen, and either of them hated other to the death." "Sir Palomides," said Ector, "wit thou well there is neither thou nor none knight that beareth the life that slayeth any of our blood, but he shall die for it. Therefore now list a fight, go seek Sir Lancelot or Sir Tristram, and there shall ye find your match." "With them have I met," said Palomides, "but I had never no worship of them." "Was there never no manner of knight," said Sir Ector, "but they that ever matched with you?" "Yes," said Palomides, "there was a third, a good knight as any of them, and of his age he was the best that ever I found. For when he might have lived till he had been an hardier man, there liveth no knight now such, and his name was Sir Lamorak de Gales. And as he had jousted at a tournament, there he overthrew me and 30 knights more, and there he won the degree. And at his departing there met him Sir Gawain and his brethren, and with great pain they slew him feloniously, unto all good knights great damage. Anon as Sir Percivale heard that his brother was dead, Sir Lamorak, he fell over his horse's men as swooning, and they made the greatest dole that ever made knight. And when Sir Percivale arose, he said, "Alas, my good and noble brother Sir Lamorak, now shall we never meet. And I trow in all the wide world a man may not find such a knight as he was of his age, and it is too much to suffer the death of our father King Pellinore, and now the death of our good brother Sir Lamorak." Then in the meanwhile there came a varlet from the court of King Arthur, and told them of the great tournament that should be at Lonazep, and how these lands, Cornwall and North Galles, should be against all them that would come. Chapter 55 how Sir Tristram met with Sir Dinadan, and of their devices, and what he said to Sir Gawain's brethren. Now turn we unto Sir Tristram, that as he rode a-hunting he met with Sir Dinadan, that was come into that country to seek Sir Tristram. Then Sir Dinadan told Sir Tristram his name, but Sir Tristram would not tell him his name, wherefore Sir Dinadan was wroth. "For such a foolish knight as ye are," said Sir Dinadan, "I saw but late this day lying by a well, and he fared as he slept, and there he lay like a fool grinning, and would not speak, and his shield lay by him, and his horse stood by him, and well I wot he was a lover." "Ah, fair sir," said Sir Tristram, "are ye not a lover?" "Marry, fie on that craft," said Sir Dinadan. "That is evil said," said Sir Tristram, "for a knight may never be of prowess but if he be a lover." "It is well said," said Sir Dinadan. "Now tell me your name, sith ye be a lover, or else I shall do battle with you." "As for that," said Sir Tristram, "it is no reason to fight with me but I tell you my name, and as for that my name shall ye not wit as at this time." "Fie for shame," Said Dinadan, Art thou a knight and durst not tell thy name to me? Therefore I will fight with thee. As for that, said Sir Tristram, I will be advised, for I will not do battle but if me list. And if I do battle, said Sir Tristram, ye are not able to withstand me. Fie on thee, coward, said Sir Dinadan. And thus as they hove still, they saw a knight come riding against them. Lo, said Sir Tristram, see where cometh a knight riding will joust with you. Anon, as Sir Dinadan beheld him, he said, That is the same doted knight that I saw lie by the well, neither sleeping nor waking. Well, said Sir Tristram, I know that knight well with the covered shield of Ezio. He is the king's son of Northumberland. His name is Epinegris, and he is as great a lover as I know, and he loveth the king's daughter of Wales, a full fair lady. And now I suppose, said Sir Tristram, an ye require him, he will joust with you, and then shall ye prove whether a lover be a better knight, or ye that will not love no lady. Well, said Dinadan, now shalt thou see what I shall do. Therewithal Sir Dinadan spake on high and said, Sir knight, make thee ready to joust with me, for it is the custom of errant knights one to joust with other. Sir, said Epinegris, is it the rule of you errant knights for to make a knight to joust, will he or nill? As for that, said Dinadan, make thee ready, for here is for me. And therewithal they spurred their horses and met together so hard that Epinegris smote down Sir Dinadan. Then Sir Tristram rode to Sir Dinadan and said, How now? Meseemeth the lover hath well sped. Fie on thee, coward, said Sir Dinadan, and if thou be a good knight, revenge me. Nay, said Sir Tristram, I will not joust us at this time, but take your horse and let us go hence. God defend me, said Sir Dinadan, from thy fellowship, for I never sped well since I met with thee. And so they departed. Well, said Sir Tristram, peradventure I could tell you tidings of Sir Tristram. God defend me, said Dinadan, from thy fellowship, for Sir Tristram were mickle the worse than he were in thy company. And then they departed. Sir, said Sir Tristram, yet it may happen I shall meet with you in other places. So rode Sir Tristram unto Joyous Gard, and they heard in that town great noise and cry. What is this noise? Said Sir Tristram. Sir, said they, here is a knight of this castle that have been long among us, and right now he is slain with 2 knights, and for none other cause but that our knight said that Sir Lancelot were a better knight than Sir Gawain. That was a simple cause, said Sir Tristram, for to slay a good knight for to say well by his master. That is little remedy to us, said the men of the town. For in Sir Lancelot had been here soon we should have been revenged upon the false knights. When Sir Tristram heard them say so, he sent for his shield and for his spear, and lightly within a while he had overtaken them, and bade them turn and amend that they had misdone. What amends wouldst thou have? Said the one knight, and therewith they took their course, and either met other so hard that Sir Tristram smote down that knight over his horse's tail. Then the other knight dressed him to Sir Tristram, and in the same wise he served the other knight. And then they get off their horses as well as they might, and dressed their shields and swords to do their battle to the utterance. Knights, said Sir Tristram, ye shall tell me of whence ye are, and what be your names. For such men ye might be, ye should hard escape my hands. And ye might be such men of such a country that for all your evil deeds ye should pass quit. Wit thou well, Sir Knight, said they, we fear not to tell thee our names. For my name is Sir Agravain, and my name is Gaheris, brethren unto the good knight Sir Gawain, and would be nephews unto King Arthur. Well, said Sir Tristram, for King Arthur's sake I shall let you pass us at this time. But it is shame, said Sir Tristram, that Sir Gawain and ye be come of so great a blood that ye for brethren are so named as ye be. For ye be called the greatest destroyers and murderers of good knights that be now in this realm. For it is but as I heard say that Sir Gawain and ye slew among you a better knight than ever ye were, that was the noble knight Sir Lamorak de Gales. And it had pleased God, said Sir Tristram, I would I had been by Sir Lamorak at his death. Then shouldst thou have gone the same way, said Sir Gaheris. Fair knight, said Sir Tristram, there must have been many more knights than ye are. And therewithal Sir Tristram departed from them toward Joyous Gard. And when he was departed, they took their horses, and the one said to the other, We will overtake him and be revenged upon him in the despite of Sir Lamorak. Chapter 56. How Sir Tristram smote down Sir Agravain and Sir Gaheris, and how Sir Dinadan was sent for by La Beale Isoud. So when they had overtaken Sir Tristram, Sir Agravain bade him, Turn, traitor knight. That is evil said Sir Tristram. And therewith he pulled out his sword, and smote Sir Agravain such a buffet upon the helm that he tumbled down off his horse in a swoon, and he had a grievous wound. And then he turned to Gaheris. And Sir Tristram smote his sword and his helm together with such a might that Gaheris fell out of his saddle. And so Sir Tristram rode unto Joyous Gard, and there he alighted and unarmed him. So Sir Tristram told La Beale Isoud of all his adventure, as ye have heard tofore. And when she heard him tell of Sir Dinadan, So, said she, is not that he that made the song by King Mark? That same is he, said Sir Tristram, for he is the best boarder and japer, and a noble knight of his hands, and the best fellow that I know, and all good knights love his fellowship. Alas, so, said she, why brought ye not him with you? Have ye no care, said Sir Tristram, for he readeth to seek me in this country, and therefore he will not away till he have met with me. And there Sir Tristram told La Beale Isoud how Sir Dinadan held against all lovers. Right so there came in a varlet and told Sir Tristram how there was come an errant knight into the town, with such colours upon his shield. That is Sir Dinadan, said Sir Tristram. Wit ye what ye shall do? Said Sir Tristram. Send ye for him, my lady Isoud, and I will not be seen, and ye shall hear the merriest night that ever ye spake withal, and the maddest talker. And I pray you heartily that ye make him good cheer. Then anon La Beale Isoud sent into the town, and prayed Sir Dinadan that he would come into the castle and repose him there with a lady. With a good will, said Sir Dinadan, and so he mounted upon his horse and rode into the castle, and there he alighted, and was unarmed, and brought into the castle. Anon La Beale Isoud came unto him, and either saluted other. Then she asked him of whence that he was. Madam, said Dinadan, I am of the court of King Arthur, and knight of the Table Round, and my name is Sir Dinadan. What do ye in this country? Said La Beale Isoud. Madam, said he, I seek Sir Tristram the good knight, for it was told me that he was in this country. It may well be, said La Beale Isoud, but I am not ware of him. Madam, said Dinadan, I marvel of Sir Tristram and mo other lovers. What aileth them to be so mad and so sotted upon women? Why, said La Beale Isoud, are ye a knight and be no lover? It is shame to you. Wherefore ye may not be called a good knight if ye make quarrel for a lady. God defend me, said Dinadan, for the joy of love is too short, and the sorrow thereof, and what cometh thereof, dureth overlong. Ah, said La Beale Isoud, say ye not so, for here fast by was a good knight Sir Bleoberis, that fought with 3 knights at once for a damosel's sake, and he won her for the king of Northumberland. It was so, said Sir Dinadan, for I know him well for a good knight and a noble, and come of noble blood. For all be noble knights of whom he is come of, that is Sir Lancelot du Lake. Now I pray you, said La Beale Isoud, tell me will you fight for my love with 3 knights that do me great wrong? And insomuch as ye be a knight of King Arthur's, I require you to do battle for me. Then Sir Dinadan said, I shall say ye be as fair a lady as ever I saw any, and much fairer than is my lady Queen Guinevere. But wit ye well at one word, I will not fight for you with 3 knights, Jesu defend me. Then Isoud laughed, and had good game at him. So he had all the cheer that she might make him, and there he lay all that night. And on the morn early Sir Tristram armed him, and La Beale Isoud gave him a good helm. And then he promised her that he would meet with Sir Dinadan, and they two would ride together into Lonazep, where the tournament should be, and there shall I make ready for you where ye shall see the tournament. Then departed Sir Tristram with 2 squires that bare his shield and his spears that were great and long. Chapter 57. How Sir Dinadan met with Sir Tristram, and with jousting with Sir Palomides. Sir Dinadan knew him. Then after that Sir Dinadan departed, and rode his way a great pace until he had overtaken Sir Tristram. And when Sir Dinadan had overtaken him, he knew him anon, and he hated the fellowship of him above all other knights. Ah, said Sir Dinadan, art thou that coward knight that I met with yesterday? Keep thee, for thou shalt joust with me maugre thy head. Well, said Sir Tristram, and I am loath to joust. And so they let their horses run, and Sir Tristram miss of him a purpose, and Sir Dinadan brake a spear upon Sir Tristram, and therewith Sir Dinadan dressed him to draw out his sword. Not so, said Sir Tristram, why are ye so rough? I will not fight. Fie on thee, Coward, said Dinadan, thou shamest all knights. As for that, said Sir Tristram, I care not, for I will wait upon you and be under your protection, for because he is so good a knight ye may save me. The devil deliver me of thee, said Sir Dinadan, for thou art as goodly a man of arms and of thy person as ever I saw, and the most coward that ever I saw. What wilt thou do with those great spears that thou carriest with thee? I shall give them, said Sir Tristram, to some good knight when I come to the tournament, and if I see you do best, I shall give them to you. So thus as they rode talking, they saw where came an errant knight afore them, that dressed him to joust. Lo, said Sir Tristram, yonder is one will joust. Now dress thee to him. Ah, shame betide thee, said Sir Dinadan. Nay, not so, said Tristram, for that knight beseemeth a shrew. Then shall I, said Sir Dinadan. And so they dressed their shields and their spears, and they met together so hard that the other knight smote down Sir Dinadan from his horse. Lo, said Sir Tristram, it had been better ye had left. Fie on thee, coward, said Sir Dinadan. Then Sir Dinadan started up and get his sword in his hand, and proffered to do battle on foot, whether in love or in wrath. Said the other knight, let us do battle in love. Said Sir Dinadan, what is your name? Said that knight, I pray you tell me. Wit ye well my name is Sir Dinadan. Ah, Dinadan, said that knight, and my name is Gareth, the youngest brother unto Sir Gawain. Then either made of other great cheer, for this Gareth was the best knight of all the brethren, and he proved a good knight. Then they took their horses, and there they spake of Sir Tristram, how such a coward he was, and every word Sir Tristram heard and laughed them to scorn. Then were they where came a knight afore them well horsed and well armed, and he made him ready to joust. Fair knights, said Sir Tristram, look betwixt you who shall joust with yonder knight, for I warn you I will not have ado with him. Then shall I, said Sir Gareth. And so they encountered together, and there that knight smote down Sir Gareth over his horse's croup. How now, said Sir Tristram unto Sir Dinadan, dress thee now and revenge the good knight Gareth. That shall I not, said Sir Dinadan, for he has stricken down a much bigger knight than I am. Ah, said Sir Tristram, now Sir Dinadan, I see and feel well your heart faileth you, therefore now shall ye see what I shall do. And then Sir Tristram hurtled unto that knight, and smote him quite from his horse. And when Sir Dinadan saw that, he marvelled greatly, and then he deemed that it was Sir Tristram. Then this knight that was on foot pulled out his sword to do battle. What is your name? Said Sir Tristram. Wit ye well, said that knight, my name is Sir Palomides. What knight hate ye most? Said Sir Tristram. Sir Knight, said he, I hate Sir Tristram to the death, for when I may meet with him the one of us shall die. Ye say well, said Sir Tristram, and wit ye well that I am Sir Tristram de Lyons, and now do your worst. When Sir Palomides heard him say so, he was astonied. And then he said thus, I pray you, Sir Tristram, forgive me all mine evil will, and if I live I shall do you service above all other knights that be living, and whereas I have owed you evil will me so repenteth. I wot not what aileth me, for meseemeth that ye are a good knight, and none other knight that named himself a good knight should not hate you. Therefore I require you, Sir Tristram, take no displeasure at mine unkind words. Sir Palomides, said Sir Tristram, ye say well, and well I wot ye are a good knight, for I have seen ye proved, and many great enterprises have ye taken upon you, and well achieved them. Therefore, said Sir Tristram, an ye have any evil will to me, now may ye write it, for I am ready at your hand. Not so, my lord Sir Tristram, I will do you knightly service in all things as ye will command. And right so I will take you, said Sir Tristram. And so they rode forth on their ways, talking of many things. O my lord Sir Tristram, said Dinadan, foul have ye mocked me, for God knoweth I came into this country for your sake, and by the advice of my lord Sir Lancelot. And yet would not Sir Lancelot tell me the certainty of you, where I should find you. Truly, said Sir Tristram, Sir Lancelot wist well where I was, for I abode within his own castle. Chapter 58. How they approached the castle Lonazep, and of other devices of the death of Sir Lamorak. Thus they rode until they were ware of the castle Lonazep, and then were they ware of 400 tents and pavilions, and marvellous great ordnance. So God me help, said Sir Tristram. Yonder I see the greatest ordnance that ever I saw. Sir, said Palomides, meseemeth that there was as great an ordinance of the castle of maidens upon the rock, where you won the prize, for I saw myself where ye forjousted 30 knights. Sir, said Dinadan, and in Surlis, at that tournament that Galahad of the Long Isles made, the which there yet 7 days, was as great a gathering as is here, for there were many nations. Who was the best? Said Sir Tristram. So, it was Sir Lancelot du Lake and the noble knight, Sir Lamorak de Gales, and Sir Lancelot won the degree. I doubt not, said Sir Tristram, but he won the degree, so he had not been overmatched with many knights. And of the death of Sir Lamorak, said Sir Tristram, it was over great pity, for I dare say he was the cleanest might man and the best winded of his age that was alive, for I knew him that he was the biggest knight that ever I met withal. But if it was Sir Lancelot, alas, said Sir Tristram, full woe is me for his death. And if they were not the cousins of my lord Arthur that slew him, they should die for it, and all those that were consenting to his death. And for such things, said Sir Tristram, I fear to draw unto the court of my lord Arthur. I will that ye wit it, said Sir Tristram unto Gareth. Sir, I blame you not, said Gareth, for well I understand the vengeance of my brethren Sir Gawain, Agravain, Gaheris, and Mordred. But as for me, said Sir Gareth, I meddle not of their matters, therefore there is none of them that loveth me. And for I understand they be murderers of good knights I left their company, and God would I had been by, said Gareth, when the noble knight, Sir Lamorak, was slain. Now is Jason be my help, said Sir Tristram. It is well said of you, for I had liefer than all the gold bitwicks this in Rome I had been there. Ewis, said Palomides, and so would I had been there, and yet had I never the degree at no joust nor tournament there as he was, but he put me to the worse, or on foot or on horseback. And that day that he was slain he did the most deeds of arms that ever I saw knight do in all my life days. And when him was given the degree by my lord Arthur, Sir Gawain and his 3 brethren, Agravain, Gaheris, and Sir Mordred, set upon Sir Lamorak in a privy place, and there they slew his horse. And so they fought with him on foot more than 3 hours, both before him and behind him, and Sir Mordred gave him his death wound behind him at his back, and all to hew him. For one of his squires told me that saw it. Fie upon treason, said Sir Tristram, for it killeth my heart to hear this tale. So it doth mine, said Gareth. Brethren as they be mine, I shall never love them, nor draw in their fellowship for that deed. Now speak we of other deeds, said Palomides, and let him be, for his life ye may not get again. That is the more pity, said Dinadan, for Sir Gawain and his brethren, except you, Sir Gareth, hate all the good knights of the Round Table for the most part. For well I won they might privily, they hate my lord Sir Lancelot and all his kin, and great privy despite they have at him, and that is my lord Sir Lancelot well whereof, and that causeth him to have the good knights of his kin about him. Chapter 59. How they came to Humber Bank, and how they found a ship there, wherein lay the body of King Hermance. Sir, said Palomides, let us leave of this matter, and let us see how we shall do at this tournament. By mine advice, said Palomides, let us forehold together against all that will come. Not by my counsel, said Sir Tristram, for I see by their pavilions there will be 400 knights, and doubt ye not, said Sir Tristram, but there will be many good knights, and be a man never so valiant nor so big, yet he may be overmatched. And so have I seen knights done many times. And when they ween best to have won worship, they lost it. For manhood is not worth but if it be medled with wisdom. And as for me, said Sir Tristram, it may happen I shall keep mine own head as well as another. So thus they rode until that they came to Humber Bank, where they heard a cry and a doleful noise. Then were they ware in the wind, where came a rich vessel hilled over with red silk, and the vessel landed fast by them. Therewith Sir Tristram alighted and his knights. And so Sir Tristram went afore and entered into that vessel. And when he came within, he saw a fair bed richly covered, and thereupon lay a dead seemly knight, all armed save the head, was all bebled with deadly wounds upon him, the which seemed to be a passing good knight. How may this be, said Sir Tristram, that this knight is thus slain? Then Sir Tristram was ware of a letter in the dead knight's hand. Master mariners, said Sir Tristram, what meaneth that letter? Sir, said they, in that letter ye shall hear and know how he was slain, and for what cause, And what was his name? But, sir, said the mariners, wit ye well that no man shall take that letter and read it but if he be a good knight, and that he will faithfully promise to revenge his death, else shall there be no knight see that letter open. Wit ye well, said Sir Tristram, that some of us may revenge his death as well as other, and if it be so as ye mariners say, his death shall be revenged. And therewith Sir Tristram took the letter out of the knight's hand, and it said thus, Hermans, King and Lord of the Red City, I send unto all knights errant, recommending unto you noble knights of Arthur's court. I beseech them all among them to find one knight that will fight for my sake with two brethren I brought up of naught, and feloniously and traitorly they have slain me. Wherefore I beseech one good knight to revenge my death. And he that revengeth my death, I will that he have my Red City and all my castles. Sir, said the mariners, wit ye well this king and knight that here lieth was a full worshipful man, and of full great prowess, and full well he loved all men and knights errants. So God me help, said Sir Tristram, here is a piteous case, and full fain would I take this enterprise upon me, but I have made such a promise that needs I must be at this great tournament, or else I am shamed. For well I wot for my sake, in especial my lord Arthur let make this joust and tournament in this country, and well I wot that many worshipful people will be there at that tournament for to see me. Therefore I fear me to take this enterprise upon me that I shall not come again by time to this joust. Sir, said Palomides, I pray you give me this enterprise, and ye shall see me achieve it worshipfully, other else I shall die in this quarrel. Well, said Sir Tristram, and this enterprise I give you, with this, that ye be with me at this tournament that shall be as this day 7 night. Sir, said Palomides, I promise you that I shall be with you by that day if I be unslain or unmaimed. Chapter 60. How Sir Tristram with his fellowship came and were with an host which after fought with Sir Tristram, and other matters. Then departed Sir Tristram, Gareth, and Sir Dinadan, and left Sir Palomides in the vessel. And so Sir Tristram beheld the mariners how they sailed over Long Humber. And when Sir Palomides was out of their sight, they took their horses and beheld about them. And then were they ware of a knight that came riding against them unarmed, and nothing about him but a sword. And when this knight came nigh them, he saluted them, and they him again. Fair knights, said that knight, I pray you insomuch as ye be knights errant, that ye will come and see my castle, and take such as ye find there, I pray you heartily. And so they rode with him until his castle, and there they were brought into the hall, that was well apparelled, and so they were there unarmed, and set at a board. And when this knight saw Sir Tristram, anon he knew him. And then this knight waxed pale and rough at Sir Tristram. When Sir Tristram saw his host make such cheer, he marvelled and said, Sir, mine host, what cheer make you? Wit thou well, said he, I fare the worse for thee, for I know thee, Sir Tristram de Lions, thou slewest my brother, and therefore I give thee summons I will slay thee, and ever I may get thee at large. Sir knight, said Sir Tristram, I am never advised that ever I slew any brother of yours, and if ye say that I did, I will make amends unto my power. I will none amends, said the knight, but keep thee from me. So when he had dined, Sir Tristram asked his alms, and departed. And so they rode on their ways. And within a while Sir Dinadan saw where came a knight well armed and well horsed, without shield. Sir Tristram, said Sir Dinadan, take keep to yourself, for I dare undertake yonder cometh your host that will have ado with you. Let him come, said Sir Tristram, I shall abide him as well as I may. Anon the knight, when he came nigh Sir Tristram, he cried and bade him abide and keep him. So they hurtled together, but Sir Tristram smote the other knight so sore that he bare him over his horse's croup. That knight arose lightly and took his horse again, and so rode fiercely to Sir Tristram, and smote him twice hard upon the helm. Sir knight, said Sir Tristram, I pray you leave off and smite me no more, for I will be loath to deal with you, and I might choose, for I have your meat and your drink within my body. For all that he would not leave. And then Sir Tristram gave him such a buffet upon the helm that he fell up so down from his horse, that the blood brast out at the ventails of his helm, and so he lay still likely to be dead. Then Sir Tristram said, Me repenteth of this buffet that I smote so sore, for as I suppose he is dead. And so they left him and rode on their ways. So they had not ridden but a while, but they saw riding against them 2 full likely knights, well armed and well horsed, and goodly servants about them. The one was Berentlo Apers, and he was called the King with the 100 knights, and the other was Sir Segwarides, which were renowned 2 noble knights. So as they came either by other, the king looked upon Sir Dinadan, that at that time he had Sir Tristram's helm upon his shoulder, the which helm the king had seen to fall with the queen of Northgalis, and that queen the king loved as paramour, and that helm the queen of Northgalis had given to La Beale Isoud, and the queen La Beale Isoud gave it to Sir Tristram. Sir Knight, said Berent, where had ye that helm? What would ye? Said Sir Dinadan. For I will have ado with thee, said the king, for the love of that owed that helm, and therefore keep you. So they departed and came together with all their might of their horses, and there the king with 100 knights smote Sir Dinadan, horse and all, to the earth, and then he commanded his servant, Go and take thou his helm off, and keep it. So the varlet went to unbuckle his helm. What helm? What wilt thou do? Said Sir Tristram, Leave that helm. To what intent? Said the king, Will ye, Sir Knight, meddle with that helm? Wit you well, said Sir Tristram, that helm shall not depart from me, or it be dear aboard. Then make you ready, said Sir Berent unto Sir Tristram. So they hurtled together, and there Sir Tristram smote him down over his horse's tail. And then the king arose lightly, and get his horse lightly again. And then he struck fiercely at Sir Tristram many great strokes. And then Sir Tristram gave Sir Berent such a buffet upon the helm that he fell down over his horse sore stonied. Lo, said Dinadan, that helm is unhappy to us twain, for I had a fall for it. And now, Sir King, have ye another fall? Then Segwarides asked, Who shall joust with me? I pray thee, said Sir Gareth unto Dinadan, let me have this joust. Sir, said Dinadan, I pray you take it as for me. That is no reason, said Tristram, for this joust should be yours. At a word, said Dinadan, I will not thereof. Then Gareth dressed him to Sir Segwarides, and there Sir Segwarides smote Gareth and his horse to the earth. Now, said Sir Tristram to Dinadan, joust with yonder knight. I will not thereof, said Dinadan. Then will I, said Sir Tristram. And then Sir Tristram ran to him, and gave him a fall, and so they left him on foot. And Sir Tristram rode unto Joyous Gard, and there Sir Gareth would not of his courtesy have gone into this castle, but Sir Tristram would not suffer him to depart. And so they alighted and unarmed them, and had great cheer. But when Dinadan came afore La Beale Isoud, he cursed the time that ever he bare Sir Tristram's helm, and there he told her how Sir Tristram had mocked him. Then was there laughing and japing at Sir Dinadan, that they wist not what to do with him. Chapter 61. How Palomides went for to fight with 2 brethren for the death of King Hermance. Now will we leave the merry within Joyous Gard, and speak we of Sir Palomides. Then Sir Palomides sailed even long Humber to the coast of the sea, where was a fair castle. And at that time it was early in the morning, afore day. Then the mariners went unto Sir Palomides that slept fast. Sir Knight, said the mariners, ye must arise, for here is a castle that ye must go into. I assent me, said Sir Palomides, and therewithal he arrived. And then he blew his horn that the mariners had given him. And when they within the castle heard that horn, they put forth many knights, and there they stood upon the walls, and said with one voice, Welcome be ye to this castle. And then it waxed clear day, and Sir Palomides entered into the castle, and within a while he was served with many divers meats. Then Sir Palomides heard about him much weeping and great dole. What may this mean? Said Sir Palomides, I love not to hear such a sorrow, and fain I would know what it meaneth. Then there came afore him one whose name was Sir Abel, that said thus, Wit ye well, Sir Knight, this dole and sorrow is him made every day, and for this cause. We had a king that hight Hermance, and he was king of the Red City, and this king that was lord was a noble knight, large and liberal of his expense. And in the world he loved nothing so much as he did errant knights of King Arthur's court, and all jousting, hunting, and all manner of knightly games. For so kind a king and knight had, never the rule of poor people as he was, and because of his goodness and gentleness would bemoan him, and ever shall. And all kings and estates may beware by our Lord, for he was destroyed in his own default. For had he cherished them of his blood, he had yet lived with great riches and rest. But all estates may beware by our king. But alas, said Abel, that we shall give all other warning by his death. Tell me, said Palomides, and in what manner was your lord slain, and by whom? Sir, said Sir Abel, Our king brought up of children 2 men that now are perilous knights. And these 2 knights our king had so in charity, that he loved no man nor trusted no man in his blood, nor none other that was about him. And by these 2 knights our king was governed, and so they ruled him peaceably in his lands, and never would they suffer none of his blood to have no rule with our king. And also he was so free and so gentle, and they so false and deceivable, that they ruled him peaceably, and that espied the lords of our king's blood, and departed from him unto their own livelihood. Then when these 2 traitors understood that they had driven all the lords of his blood from him, they were not pleased with that rule, but then they thought to have more. As ever it is an old soul, give a churl rule, and thereby he will not be sufficed. For whatsoever he be that is ruled by a villain born, and the lord of the soil to be a gentleman born, the same villain shall destroy all the gentlemen about him. Therefore all estates and lords, beware whom ye take about you. And if ye be a knight of King Arthur's court, remember this tale, for this is the end and conclusion. My lord and king rode unto the forest hereby by the advice of these traitors, and they chased at the red day, armed at all pieces, full like a good knight. And so for labour he waxed dry, and then he alighted, and drank at a well. And when he was alighted, by the assent of these 2 traitors, that one that hight Helios, he suddenly smote our king through the body with a spear, and so they left him there. And when they were departed, then by fortune I came to the well, and found my lord and king wounded to the death. And when I heard his complaint, I let bring him to the water side, and in that same ship I put him alive. And when my lord King Hermance was in that vessel, he required me for the true faith I owed unto him for to write a letter in this manner. Chapter 62. The copy of the letter written for to revenge the king's death, and how Sir Palomides fought for to have the battle, recommending unto King Arthur and to all his knights errant, beseeching them all that insomuch as I, King Hermance, king of the Red City, thus am slain by felony and treason, through 2 knights of mine own, and of mine own bringing up and of mine own making, that some worshipful knight will revenge my death, insomuch I have been ever to my power well willing unto Arthur's court. And who that will adventure his life with these 2 traitors for my sake in one battle, I, King Hermance, king of the Red City, freely give him all my lands and rents that ever I wielded in my life. This letter, said a bell, I wrote by my lord's commandment, and then he received his creator. And when he was dead, he commanded me or ever he were cold to put that letter fast in his hand. And then he commanded me to put forth that same vessel down Humber, and I should give these mariners in commandment never to stint until that they came unto Logris, where all the noble knights shall assemble at this time. And there shall some good knight have pity on me to revenge my death, for there was never king nor lord falsely nor traitorously slain than I am here to my death. Thus was the complaint of our King Hermance. Now, said Sir Abel, ye know all how our lord was betrayed. We require you for God's sake have pity upon his death, and worshipfully revenge his death, and then may ye wield all these lands. For we all wit well that an ye may slay these 2 traitors, the Red City and all those that be therein will take you for their lord. Truly, said Sir Palomides, it grieveth my heart for to hear you tell this doleful tale. And to say the truth, I saw the same letter that ye speak of, and one of the best knights on the earth read that letter to me, and by his commandment I came hither to revenge your king's death, and therefore have done. And let me wit where I shall find those traitors, for I shall never be at ease in my heart till I be in hands with them. Sir, said Sir Abel, then take your ship again, and that ship must bring you unto the delectable isle, fast by the Red City, and we in this castle shall pray for you, and abide your again coming. For this same castle, an ye speed well, must need be yours. For our King Hermance let make this castle for the love of the 2 traitors, and so we kept it with strong hand, and therefore full sore are we threaded. Wot ye what ye shall do, said Sir Palomides, whatsoever come of me, look ye keep well this castle. For in it misfortune me so to be slain in this quest, I am sure there will come one of the best knights of the world for to revenge my death, and that is Sir Tristram de Lyons, or else Sir Lancelot du Lake. Then Sir Palomides departed from that castle, and as he came nigh the city, there came out of a ship a goodly knight armed against him, with his shield on his shoulder, and his hand upon his sword. And anon as he came nigh Sir Palomides, he said, Sir Knight, what seek ye here? Leave this quest, for it is mine, and mine it was or ever it was yours, and therefore I will have it. Sir Knight, said Palomides, it may well be that this quest was yours or it was mine, But when the letter was taken out of the dead king's hand, at that time by likelihood there was no knight had undertaken to revenge the death of the king. And so at that time I promised to revenge his death, and so I shall, or else I am ashamed. Ye say well, said the knight, but wit ye well then will I fight with you, and who be the better knight of us both, let him take the battle upon hand. I assent me, said Sir Palomides. And then they dressed their shields, and pulled out their swords, and lashed together many sad strokes as men of might. And this fighting was more than an hour, but at the last Sir Palomides waxed big and better winded, so that then he smote that knight such a stroke that he made him to kneel upon his knees. Then that knight spake on high and said, Gentle knight, hold thy hand. Sir Palomides was goodly and withdrew his hand. Then this knight said, Wit ye well, knight, that thou art better worthy to have this battle than I, and require thee of knighthood tell me thy name. Sir, my name is Palomides, a knight of King Arthur's, and of the Table Round, that hither I came to revenge the death of this dead king. Chapter 63. Of the preparation of Sir Palomides and the two brethren that should fight with him. Well be ye found, said the knight to Palomides, for of all knights that be alive, except 3, I had liefest have you. The first is Sir Lancelot du Lake, and Sir Tristram de Lions. The third is my nigh cousin, Sir Lamorak de Gales. And I am brother unto King Hermance that is dead, and my name is Sir Hermind. Ye say well, said Sir Palomides, and ye shall see how I shall speed. And if I be there slain, go ye to my lord Sir Lancelot, or else to my lord Sir Tristram, and pray them to revenge my death, for as for Sir Lamorak him shall ye never see in this world. Alas, said Sir Hermind, how may that be? He is slain, said Sir Palomides, by Sir Gawain and his brethren. So God me help, said Hermind, there was not one for one that slew him. That is truth, said Sir Palomides, for there were 4 dangerous knights that slew him, as Sir Gawain, Sir Agravain, Sir Gaheris, and Sir Mordred. But Sir Gareth, the 5th brother, was away, the best knight of them all. And so Sir Palomides told Hermind all the manner, and how they slew Sir Lamorak all only by treason. So the messenger went unto them where they were at a castle there beside, and they told them how there was a knight come of King Arthur's court to fight with them both at once. He is welcome, said they, but tell us, we pray you, if it be Sir Lancelot or any of his blood. He is none of that blood, said the messenger. Then we care the less, said the 2 brethren, for with none of the blood of Sir Lancelot we keep not to have ado withal. Wit ye well, said the messenger, that his name is Sir Palomides, that yet is unchristened a noble knight. Well, said they, and he be now unchristened, he shall never be christened. So they appointed to be at the city within 2 days. And when Sir Palomides was come to the city, they made passing great joy of him, and then they beheld him, and saw that he was well made, cleanly and beagly, and unmaimed of his limbs, and neither too young nor too old. And so all the people praised him. And though he was not christened, yet he believed in the best manner, and was full faithful and true of his promise, and well conditioned. And because he made his avow that he would never be christened unto the time that he had achieved the beast Glaticent, the which was a full wonderful beast, and a great signification. For Merlin prophesied much of that beast. And also Sir Palomides avowed never to take full Christendom unto the time that he had done 7 battles within the lists. So within the 3rd day there came to the city these 2 brethren, the one hight Helius, the other hight Helake, the which were men of great prowess, howbeit that they were false and full of treason, and but poor men born, yet were they noble knights of their hands. And with them they brought 40 knights, to that intent that they should be bid enough for the Red City. Thus came the 2 brethren with great boldborns and pride, for they had put the Red City in fear and damage. Then they were brought to the lists, and Sir Palomides came into place and said thus, Be the 2 brethren, Helius and Helake, that slew your king and lord, Sir Hermance, by felony and treason, for whom that I am come hither to revenge his death. Wit thou well, said Sir Helius and Sir Helake, that we are the same knights that slew King Hermance. And wit thou well, Sir Palomides Saracen, that we shall handle thee so thou depart that thou shalt wish that thou wert christened. It may well be, said Sir Palomides, for yet I would not die or I were christened. And yet so am I not afeard of you both, but I trust to God I shall die a better Christian man than any of you both. And doubt ye not, said Sir Palomides, either ye or I shall be left dead in this place. Chapter 64. Of the battle between Sir Palomides and the two brethren, and how the two brethren were slain. And therewith Sir Palomides was ashamed, and gat the horse of Sir Helius by the bridle, and therewithal the horse Ariared, and Sir Palomides halp after, and so they fell both to the earth. But anon Sir Helius stood up lightly, and there he smote Sir Palomides a great stroke upon the helm, that he kneeled upon his own knee. Then they lashed together many sad strokes, and Trace and Travis now backward, now sidling, hurtling together like two bulls, and at same time they fell both grovelling to the earth. Thus they fought still without any reposing 2 hours, and never breathed. And then Sir Palomides waxed faint and weary, and Sir Helius waxed passing strong, and doubled his strokes, and drove Sir Palomides overthwart and endlong all the field, that they of the city, when they saw Sir Palomides in this case, they wept and cried, and made great dole, and the other party made as great joy. Alas, said the men of the city, that this noble knight should thus be slain for our king's sake. And as they were thus weeping and crying, Sir Palomides had suffered 100 strokes, that it was wonder that he stood on his feet. At the last Sir Palomides beheld as he might the common people, how they wept for him. And then he said to himself, Ah, fie for shame, Sir Palomides, my hand just thou thy head so low. And therewith he bare up his shield, and looked Sir Helius in the visage, and he smote him a great stroke upon the helm, and after that another and another. And then he smote Sir Helius with such a might that he fell to the earth grovelling. And then he raised off his helm from his head, and there he smote him such a buffet that he departed his head from the body. And then were the people of the city the joyfulest people that might be. So they brought him to his lodging with great solemnity, and there all the people became his men. And then Sir Palomides prayed them all to take keep unto all the lordship of King Hermance. For, fair sirs, would ye well I may not as at this time abide with you, for I must in all haste be with my lord King Arthur at the castle of Lonazep, the which I have promised. Then was the people full heavy at his departing, for all that city proffered Sir Palomides the third part of their goods, so that he would abide with them, but in no wise as at that time he would not abide. And so Sir Palomides departed, and so he came unto the castle there as Sir Abel was lieutenant. And when they in the castle wist how Sir Palomides had sped, there was a joyful meany. And so Sir Palomides departed, and came to the castle of Lonazep. And when he wist that Sir Tristram was not there, he took his way over Humber, and came unto Joyous Gard, whereas Sir Tristram was in La Beale Isaud. Sir Tristram had commanded that what knight errant came within the Joyous Gard, as in the town, that they should warn Sir Tristram. So there came a man of the town, and told Sir Tristram how there was a knight in the town, a passing goodly man. What manner of man is he? Said Sir Tristram, and what sign beareth he? So the man told Sir Tristram all the tokens of him. That is Palomides, said Dinadan. It may well be, said Sir Tristram. Go ye to him, said Sir Tristram unto Dinadan. So Dinadan went unto Sir Palomides, and their either made other great joy, and so they lay together that night. And on the morn early came Sir Tristram and Sir Gareth, and took them in their beds, and so they arose and brake their fast. Chapter 65. How Sir Tristram and Sir Palomides met Breuse Saunce-Pite, and how Sir Tristram and La Beale Isaud went unto Lonazep. And then Sir Tristram desired Sir Palomides to ride into the fields and woods. So they were accorded to repose them in the forest. And when they had played them a great while, they rode unto a farewell, and anon they were ware of an armed knight that came riding against them, and they either saluted other. Then this armed knight spake to Sir Tristram, and asked what were these knights that were lodged in Joyous Gard. I wot not what they are, said Sir Tristram. What knights be ye? Said that knight, for meseemeth ye be no knights errant, because ye ride unarmed. Whether we be knights or not, we list not to tell thee our name. Wilt thou not tell me thy name? Said that knight, Then keep thee, for thou shalt die of my hands. And therewith he got his spear in his hands, and would have run Sir Tristram through. That saw Sir Palomides, and smote his horse traverse in midst of the side, that man and horse fell to the earth. And therewith Sir Palomides alighted, and pulled out his sword to have slain him. Let be, said Sir Tristram, slay him not. The knight is but a fool, it was shame to slay him. But take away his spear, said Sir Tristram, and let him take his horse and go where that he will. So when this knight arose, he groaned sore the fall, and so he took his horse, and when he was up he turned then his horse, and required Sir Tristram and Sir Palomides to tell him what knights they were. Now wit ye well, said Sir Tristram, that my name is Sir Tristram de Lions, and this knight's name is Sir Palomides. When he wist what they were, he took his horse with the spurs, because they should not ask him his name, and so rode fast away through thick and thin. Then came there by them a knight with a bended shield of azure, whose name was Epinogris, and he came toward them a great wallop. Whither are ye riding? Said Sir Tristram. My fair lords, said Epinogris, I follow the falsest knight that beareth the life. Wherefore I require you tell me whether ye saw him, for he beareth a shield with a case of red over it. So God me help, said Tristram, such a knight departed from us not a quarter of an hour agone. We pray you tell us his name. Alas, said Epinogris, why let ye him escape from you? And he is so great a foe unto all errant knights. His name is Brusaun's Pite. Aye, fie for shame, said Sir Palomides, alas that ever he escape mine hands, for he is a man in the world that I hate most. Then every knight made great sorrow to other, and so Epinogris departed and followed the chase after him. Then Sir Tristram and his 3 fellows rode unto Joyous Gard, and there Sir Tristram talked unto Sir Palomides of his battle, how he sped at the Red City, and as ye have heard afore, so was it ended. Truly, said Sir Tristram, I am glad ye have well sped, for ye have done worshipfully. Well, said Sir Tristram, we must forward to morn. And then he devised how it should be. And Sir Tristram devised to send his 2 pavilions to set them fast by the well of Lonazep, and therein shall be the Queen La Beale Isoud. It is well said, said Sir Dinadan, but when Sir Palomides heard of that, his heart was ravished out of measure, notwithstanding he said but little. So when they came to Joyous Gard, Sir Palomides would not have gone into the castle, but as Sir Tristram took him by the finger, and led him into the castle. And when Sir Palomides saw La Beale Isoud, he was ravished so that he might unneed speak. So they went on to meat, but Palomides might not eat, and there was all the cheer that might be had. And on the morn they were apparelled to ride toward Lonazep. So Sir Tristram had 3 squires, and La Beale Isoud had 3 gentlewomen, and both the queen and they were richly apparelled, and other people had they none with them, but varlets to bear their shields and their spears. And thus they rode forth. So as they rode, they saw for them a rout of knights. It was a knight Galahad with 20 knights with him. Fair fellows, said Galahad, yonder come 4 knights, and a rich and a well-fair lady. I am in will to take that lady from them. That is not of the best counsel, said one of Galahad's men, but send ye to them and wit what they will say. And so it was done. There came a squire unto Sir Tristram, and asked them whether they would joust, or else to lose their lady. Not so, said Sir Tristram. Tell your lord I bid him come as many as we be, and win her and take her. Sir, said Palomides, and it please you let me have this deed, and I shall undertake them all 4. I will that ye have it, said Sir Tristram, at your pleasure. Now go and tell your lord Galahad that this same night will encounter with him and his fellows. Chapter 66. How Sir Palomides jousted with Sir Galahad, and afterwards Sir Gawain, and smote them down. Then this squire departed and told Galahad, and then he dressed his shield, and put forth a spear, and Sir Palomides another. And there Sir Palomides smote Galahad so hard that he smote both horse and man to the earth, and they had an horrible fall. And then came there another knight, and in the same wise he served him. And so he served the 3rd and the 4th, that he smote them over their horses' croups, and always Sir Palomides' spear was whole. Then came 6 knights more of Galahad's men, and would have been avenged upon Sir Palomides. Let be, said Sir Galahad, not so hardy. None of you all meddle with this knight, for he is a man of great bounty and honour, and if you were not able to meddle with him. And right so they held him still. And ever Sir Palomides was ready to joust, and when he saw they would no more, he rode unto Sir Tristram. Right well have ye done, said Sir Tristram, and worshipfully have ye done as a good knight should. This Galahad was nigh cousin unto Galahad, the Hawk Prince, and this Galahad was a king within the country of Surlus. So as Sir Tristram, Sir Palomides, and La Beale Isoud rode together, they saw for them 4 knights, and every man had his spear in his hand. The first was Sir Gawain, the second Sir Owain, the third Sir Sagramore the Desirous, and the 4th was Dodinas le Savage. When Sir Palomides beheld them, that the 4 knights were ready to joust, he prayed Sir Tristram to give him leave to have ado with him all so long as he might hold him on horseback. And if that I be smitten down, I pray you revenge me. Well, said Sir Tristram, I will as ye will. And ye are not so fain to have worship, but I would as fain increase your worship. And therewithal Sir Gawain put forth his spear, and Sir Palomides another. And so they came so eagerly together that Sir Palomides smote Sir Gawain to the earth, horse and all, and in the same wise he served Owain, Sir Dodinas, and Sagramo. All these 4 knights Sir Palomides smote down with divers spears. And then Sir Tristram departed toward Lonazep. And when they were departed, then came the Galahad with his 10 knights unto Sir Gawain, and they told him all how he had sped. I marvel, said Sir Gawain, what knights they be that are so arrayed in green. And that knight upon the white horse smote me down, said Galahad and my 3 fellows. And so he did to me, said Gawain, and well I wot, said Sir Gawain, that either he upon the white horse is Sir Tristram or else Sir Palomides, and that Gabesine lady is Queen Iseult. Thus they talked of one thing and of other. And in the meanwhile Sir Tristram passed until that he came to the well where his 2 pavilions were set, and there they alighted, and there they saw many pavilions in great array. Then Sir Tristram left there Sir Palomides and Sir Gareth with La Beale Iseult, and Sir Tristram and Sir Dinadan rode to Lonazep to hearken tidings, and Sir Tristram rode upon Sir Palomides' white horse. And when he came into the castle, Sir Dinadan heard a great horn blow, and to the horn drew many knights. Then Sir Tristram asked a knight, What meaneth the blast of that horn? Sir, said that knight, it is all those that shall hold against King Arthur at this tournament. The first is the King of Ireland, and the King of Surlis, the King of Listinois, the King of Northumberland, and the King of the best part of Wales, with many other countries. And these draw them to a council, to understand what governance they shall be of. But the King of Ireland, whose name was Maholt, and father to the good knights of Miles that Sir Tristram slew, had all the speech that Sir Tristram might hear it. He said, Lords and fellows, let us look to ourselves, for wit ye well King Arthur is sure of many good knights, or else he would not with so few knights have ado with us. Therefore by my counsel let every king have a standard and a cognizance by himself, that every knight draw to their natural lord, and then may every king and captain help his knights if they have need. When Sir Tristram had heard all their counsel, he rode unto King Arthur for to hear of his counsel. Chapter 67. How Sir Tristram and his fellowship came into the tournament of Lonazep, and of divers jousts and matters. But Sir Tristram was not so soon come into the place. But Sir Gawain and Sir Galahad went to King Arthur, and told him, That same green knight in the green harness with the white horse smote us 2 down, and 6 of our fellows this same day. Well, said Arthur, and then he called Sir Tristram and asked him what was his name. Sir, said Sir Tristram, ye shall hold me excuses at this time, for ye shall not wit my name. And there Sir Tristram returned and rode his way. I have marvel, said Arthur, that yonder knight will not tell me his name. But go thou, Gryfoot Lafies the Dayu, and pray him to speak with me betwixt us. Then Sir Gryfoot rode after him and overtook him, and said him that King Arthur prayed him for to speak with him secretly apart. Upon this covenant, said Sir Tristram, I will speak with him, that I will turn again so that you will ensure me not to desire to hear my name. I shall undertake, said Sir Gryfoot, that he will not greatly desire it of you. So they rode together until they came to King Arthur. Fair sir, said King Arthur, what is the cause you will not tell me your name? Sir, said Sir Tristram, without a cause I will not hide my name. Upon what party will ye hold? Said King Arthur, Truly, my lord, said Sir Tristram, I wot not yet on what party I will be on, until I come to the field, and there as my heart giveth me, there will I hold. But tomorrow ye shall see and prove on what party I shall come. And therewithal he returned and went to his pavilions. And upon the morn they armed them all in green, and came into the field. And their young knights began to joust, and did many worshipful deeds. Then spake Gareth unto Sir Tristram, and prayed him to give him leave to break his spear, for him thought shame to bear his spear hole again. When Sir Tristram heard him say so, he laughed, and said, I pray you do your best. Then Sir Gareth get a spear, and proffered to joust. That saw a knight that was nephew unto the king of the 100 knights. His name was Elises, and a good man of arms. So this knight Sleeces then dressed him unto Sir Gareth, and they two met together so hard that either smote other down, his horse and all, to the earth, so they were both bruised and hurt. And there they lay till the king with the 100 knights helped Sleeces up, and Sir Tristram and Sir Palomides help up Gareth again. And so they rode with Sir Gareth unto their pavilions, and then they pulled off his helm. And when La Beale Isoud saw Sir Gareth bruised in the face, she asked him what ailed him. Madam, said Sir Gareth, I had a great buffet, and as I suppose I gave another, but none of my fellows, God thank them, would not rescue me. Forsooth, said Palomides, it longed not to none of us as this day to joust, for they have not this day jousted no proved knights, and needly ye would joust. And when the other party saw ye proffered yourself to joust, they sent one to you, a passing good knight of his age, for I know him well. His name is Elises, and worshipfully ye met with him, and neither of you are dishonored, and therefore refresh yourself that ye may be ready and whole to joust tomorrow. As for that, said Gareth, I shall not fail you, and I may bestride mine horse. Chapter 68. How Sir Tristram and his fellowship jousted, and of the noble feats that they did in that tourneying. And so they led La Beale Isoud thither as she should stand and behold all the jousts in the bay window, but always she was wimple that no man might see her visage. And then these 3 knights rode straight unto the party of the King of Scots. When King Arthur had seen them do all this, he asked Sir Lancelot what were these knights and that queen. Sir, said Lancelot, I cannot say you in certain, but if Sir Tristram be in this country, or Sir Palomides, wit ye well it be they am certain, and La Beale Isoud. Then Arthur called to him Sir Kay and said, Go lightly and wit how many knights there be here lacking of the Table Round, for by the sieges thou mayst know. So went Sir Kay and saw by the writings and the sieges that there lacked 10 knights, and these be their names that be not here: Sir Tristram, Sir Palomides, Sir Percivale, Sir Gaheris, Sir Epinogris, Sir Mordred, Sir Dinadan, Sir Lacote Mailtail, and Sir Pelleas the noble knight. Well, said Arthur, some of these I dare undertake are here this day against us. Then came therein 2 brethren, cousins unto Sir Gawain. The one hight Sir Edward, that other hight Sir Sedok, the which were 2 good knights, and they asked of King Arthur that they might have the first joust, for they were of Orkney. I am pleased, said King Arthur. Then Sir Edward encountered with the King of Scots, in whose party was Sir Tristram and Sir Palomides, and Sir Edward smote the King of Scots quite from his horse, and Sir Sadok smote down the King of North Wales, and gave him a wonder great fall, that there was a great cry on King Arthur's party, and that made Sir Palomides passing wroth. And so Sir Palomides dressed his shield and his spear, and with all his might he met with Sir Edward of Orkney, that he smote him so hard that his horse might not stand on his feet, and so they hurtled to the earth. And then with the same spear Sir Palomides smote down Sir Sadok over his horse's croup. O Jesu, said Arthur, what knight is it arrayed all in grain? He jousteth mightily. Wit you well, said Sir Gawain, he is a good knight, and yet shall ye see him joust better or he depart. And yet shall ye see, said Sir Gawain, another bigger knight, in the same colour, than he is. For that same knight, said Sir Gawain, that smote down right now my 4 cousins, he smote me down within these 2 days, and 7 fellows more. This meanwhile, as they stood thus talking, there came into the place Sir Tristram upon a black horse, and or ever he stint he smote down with 1 spear 4 good knights of Orkney that were of the kin of Sir Gawain, and Sir Gareth and Sir Dinadan everych of them smote down a good knight. Jesu, said Arthur, yonder knight upon the black horse doth mightily and marvellously well. Abide you, said Sir Gawain, that knight with the black horse began not yet. Then Sir Tristram made to horse again the 2 kings that Edward and Sadok had unhorsed at the beginning. And then Sir Tristram drew his sword and rode into the thickest of the press against them of Orkney, and there he smote down knights, and rashed off helms, and pulled away their shields, and hurtled down many knights. He fared so that Sir Arthur and all knights had great marvel when they saw one knight do so great deeds of arms. And Sir Palomides failed not upon the other side, but did so marvellously well that all men had wonder. For their King Arthur likened Sir Tristram that was on the black horse like to a wood lion, and likened Sir Palomides upon the white horse unto a wood leopard, and Sir Gareth and Sir Dinadan unto eagle wolves. But the custom was such among them that none of the kings would help other, but all the fellowship of every standard to help others they might. But ever Sir Tristram did so much deeds of arms that they of Orkney waxed weary of him, and so withdrew them unto Lonazet. Chapter 69. How Sir Tristram was unhorsed and smitten down by Sir Lancelot, and after that Sir Tristram smote down King Arthur. Then was a cry of heralds and all men of common people. The Green Knight had done marvellously, and beaten all them of Orkney. And there the heralds numbered that Sir Tristram that sat upon the black horse had smitten down with spears and swords 30 knights, and Sir Palomides had smitten down 20 knights, and the most part of these 50 knights were of the house of King Arthur, and proved knights. So God me help, said Arthur unto Sir Lancelot, this is a great shame to us to see 4 knights beat so many knights of mine, and therefore make you ready, for we will have ado with them. Sir, said Lancelot, wit ye well that there are 2 passing good knights, and great worship were it not to us now to have ado with them, for they have this day so travailed. As for that, said Arthur, I will be avenged, and therefore take with you Sir Bleoberis and Sir Ector, and I will be the 4th, said Arthur. Sir, said Lancelot, ye shall find me ready, and my brother Sir Ector, and my cousin Sir Bleoberis. And so when they were ready and on horseback, now choose, said Sir Arthur unto Sir Lancelot, with whom that ye will encounter withal. Sir, said Lancelot, I will meet with the Green Knight upon the black horse, that was Sir Tristram, and my cousin Sir Bleoberis shall match the Green Knight upon the white horse, that was Sir Palomides, and my brother Sir Ector shall match with the Green Knight upon the white horse, that was Sir Gareth. Then must I, said Sir Arthur, have ado with the Green Knight upon the grizzled horse, and that was Sir Dinadan. Now every man take heed to his fellow, said Sir Lancelot. And so they trotted on together, and there encountered Sir Lancelot against Sir Tristram. So Sir Lancelot smote Sir Tristram so sore upon the shield that he bare horse and man to the earth. But Sir Lancelot weened that it had been Sir Palomides, and so he passed forth. When the king of Northgales saw that Sir Tristram had a fall, then he remembered him how great deeds of arms Sir Tristram had done. Then he made ready many knights. For the custom and cry was such, that what knight was smitten down, and might not be horsed again by his fellows, out her by his own strength, that as that day he should be prisoner unto the party that had smitten him down. So came in the king of Northgales, and he rode straight unto Sir Tristram. And when he came nigh him, he alighted down suddenly and betook Sir Tristram his horse, and said thus, Noble knight, I know thee not of what country that thou art, but for the noble deeds that thou hast done this day take there my horse, and let me do as well I may. For, as Jason me help, thou art better worthy to have mine horse than I myself. Gramercy, said Sir Tristram, and if I may I shall quiet you. Look that ye go not far from us, and as I suppose, I shall win you another horse. And therewith Sir Tristram mounted upon his horse, and there he met with King Arthur, and he gave him such a buffet upon the helm with his sword that King Arthur had no power to keep his saddle. And then Sir Tristram gave the king of Northgales King Arthur's horse. Then was there great press about King Arthur for to horse him again, but Sir Palomides would not suffer King Arthur to be horse again, but ever Sir Palomides smote on the right hand and on the left hand mightily as a noble knight. And this meanwhile Sir Tristram rode through the thickest of the press, and smote down knights on the right hand and on the left hand, and raced off helms, and so passed forth unto his pavilions, and left Sir Palomides on foot. And Sir Tristram changed his horse and disguised himself all in red, horse and harness. Chapter 70. How Sir Tristram changed his harness, and it was all red, and how he demeaned him, and how Sir Palomides slew Lancelot's horse. And when the Queen La Beale Isoud saw that Sir Tristram was unhorsed, and she wist not where he was, then she wept greatly. But Sir Tristram, when he was ready, came dashing lightly into the field, and then La Beale Isoud espied him, and so he did great deeds of arms. With one spear, that was great, Sir Tristram smote down 5 knights or ever he stint. Then Sir Lancelot espied him readily, that it was Sir Tristram, and then he repented him that he had smitten him down, and so Sir Lancelot went out of the press to repose him, and lightly he came again. And now when Sir Tristram came into the press, through his great force he put Sir Palomides upon his horse, and Sir Gareth, and Sir Dinadan, and then they began to do marvellously. But Sir Palomides nor none of his 2 fellows knew not who had holpen them on horseback again. But ever Sir Tristram was nigh them and succoured them, and they knought him, because he was changed into red armour, and all this while Sir Lancelot was away. So when La Beale Isoud knew Sir Tristram again upon his horseback, she was passing glad, and then she laughed and made good cheer. And as it happened, Sir Palomides looked up toward her where she lay in the window, and he espied how she laughed. And therewith he took such a rejoicing that he smote down, what with his spear and with his sword, all that ever he met. For through the sight of her he was so enamoured in a love that he seemed at that time, that in both Sir Tristram and Sir Lancelot had been both against him they should have won no worship of him. And in his heart, as the book saith, Sir Palomides wished that, with his worship he might have ado with Sir Tristram before all men, because of La Beale Isoud. Then Sir Palomides began to double his strength, and he did so marvellously that all men had wonder of him, and ever he cast up his eye unto La Beale Isoud. And when he saw her make such cheer, he fared like a lion, that there might no man withstand him. And then Sir Tristram beheld him, how that Sir Palomides bestirred him. And then he said unto Sir Dinadan, So God me help, Sir Palomides is a passing good knight and a well-enduring, but such deeds saw I him never do, nor never heard I tell that ever he did so much in one day. Well, said Dinadan to himself, all this worship that Sir Palomides hath here this day he may thank the Queen Isoud, for had she been away this day Sir Palomides had not gotten the prize this day. Right so came into the field Sir Lancelot du Lake, and saw and heard the noise and cry and the great worship that Sir Palomides had. He dressed him against Sir Palomides, with a great mighty spear and a long, and thought to smite him down. And when Sir Palomides saw Sir Lancelot come upon him so fast, he ran upon Sir Lancelot as fast with his sword as he might. And as Sir Lancelot should have stricken him, he smote his spear aside, and smote it a2 with his sword. And Sir Palomides rushed unto Sir Lancelot, and thought to have put him to a shame. And with his sword he smote his horse's neck that Sir Lancelot rode upon, and then Sir Lancelot fell to the earth. Then was the cry huge and great, See how Sir Palomides the Saracen has smitten down Sir Lancelot's horse. Right then were there many knights wroth with Sir Palomides because he had done that deed. Therefore many knights held there against that it was unknightly done in a tournament to kill an horse wilfully, but that it had been done in plain battle, life for life. Chapter 71. How Sir Lancelot said to Sir Palomides, and how the prize of that day was given unto Sir Palomides. When Sir Ector de Maris saw Sir Lancelot his brother have such a despite, and so set on foot, then he gat a spear eagerly, and ran against Sir Palomides, and he smote him so hard that he bare him quite from his horse. That saw Sir Tristram, that was in red harness, and he smote down Sir Ector de Maris quite from his horse. Then Sir Lancelot dressed his shield upon his shoulder, and with his sword naked in his hand, and so came straight upon Sir Palomides fiercely and said, Would thou hast done me this day the greatest despite that ever any worshipful knight did to me in tournament or in joust, and therefore I will be avenged upon thee. Therefore keep to yourself. Ah, mercy, noble knight, said Palomides, and forgive me mine unkindly deeds, for I have no power nor might to withstand you, and I have done so much this day that well I would I did never so much, nor never shall in my life days. And therefore, most noble knight, I require thee spare me as at this day, and I promise you I shall ever be your knight while I live. And ye put me from my worship now. Ye put me from the greatest worship that ever I had or ever shall have in my life days. Well, said Sir Lancelot, I see, for to say thee sooth, ye have done marvellously well this day, and I understand apart for whose love ye do it, and well I wot that love is a great mistress. And if my lady were here as ye asked not, wit you well, said Sir Lancelot, ye should not bear away the worship, but beware your love be not discovered, for when Sir Tristram may know it ye will repent it. And sithen my quarrel is not here, ye shall have this day the worship is for me. Considering the great travail and pain that ye have had this day, it were no worship for me to put you from it. And therewithal Sir Lancelot suffered Sir Palomides to depart. Then Sir Lancelot by great force and might get his own horse Morga 20 knights. So when Sir Lancelot was horsed, he did many marvels, and so did Sir Tristram, and Sir Palomides in likewise. Then Sir Lancelot smote down with a spear Sir Dinadan, and the King of Scotland, and the King of Wales, and the King of Northumberland, and the King of Listernos. So then Sir Lancelot and his fellows smote down well 40 knights. Then came the King of Ireland and the King of the Straight Marches to rescue Sir Tristram and Sir Palomides. There began a great medley, and many knights were smitten down on both parties, and always Sir Lancelot spared Sir Tristram, and he spared him. And Sir Palomides would not meddle with Sir Lancelot, and so there was hurtling here and there. And then King Arthur sent out many knights of the Table Round, and Sir Palomides was ever in the foremost front, And Sir Tristram did so strongly well that the king and all other had marvel. And then the king let blow to lodging, and because Sir Palomides began first, and never he went nor rode out of the field to repose, but ever he was doing marvellously well either on foot or on horseback, and longest during. King Arthur and all the kings gave Sir Palomides the honour and the greers for that day. Then Sir Tristram commanded Sir Dinadan to fetch the Queen La Beale Isoud, and bring her to his two pavilions that stood by the well. And so Dinadan did as he was commanded. But when Sir Palomides understood and wist that Sir Tristram was in the red armour, and on a red horse, wit ye well that he was glad, and so was Sir Gareth and Sir Dinadan, for they all weened that Sir Tristram had been taken prisoner. And then every knight drew to his inn. And then King Arthur and every knight spake of those knights. But above all men they gave Sir Palomides a prize, and all knights that knew Sir Palomides had wonder of his deeds. Sir, said Sir Lancelot unto Arthur, as for Sir Palomides, and he be the Green Knight, I dare say, as for this day he is best worthy to have a degree. For he repose him never, nor never change his weeds, and he began first and longest held on. And yet, well I wot, said Sir Lancelot, that there was a better knight than he, and that shall be proved or we depart upon pain of my life. Thus they talked on either party, and so Sir Dinadan railed with Sir Tristram and said, What the devil is upon thee this day? For Sir Palomides' strength feebled never this day, but ever he doubled his strength. Chapter 72. How Sir Dinadan provoked Sir Tristram to do well. And thou, Sir Tristram, farest all this day as though thou hadst been asleep, and therefore I call thee coward. Well, Dinadan, said Sir Tristram, I was never called coward or now of no earthly knight in my life. And wit thou well, sir, I call myself never the more coward though Sir Lancelot gave me a fall, for I outstep him of all knights. And doubt ye not Sir Dinadan, and Sir Lancelot have a quarrel good. He is too overgood for any knight that now is living, and yet of his sufferance, largesse, bounty, and courtesy, I call him knight peerless. And so Sir Tristram was in manner wroth with Sir Dinadan. But all this language Sir Dinadan said because he would anger Sir Tristram, for to cause him to awake his spirits and to be wroth. For well knew Sir Dinadan that in Sir Tristram were thoroughly wroth Sir Palomides should not get the prize upon the morn. And for this intent Sir Dinadan said all this railing and language against Sir Tristram. Truly, said Sir Palomides, as to Sir Lancelot, of his noble knighthood, courtesy, and prowess, and gentleness, I know not his peer. For this day, said Sir Palomides, I did full uncourteously unto Sir Lancelot, and full unknightly, and full knightly and courteously he did to me again. For he had been as gentle to me as I was to him. This day I had won no worship. And therefore, said Palomides, I shall be Sir Lancelot's knight while my life lasteth. This talking was in the houses of kings. But all kings, lords, and knights said, of clear knighthood, and of pure strength, of bounty, of courtesy, Sir Lancelot and Sir Tristram bare the prize above all knights that ever were in Arthur's days. And there were never knights in Arthur's days did half so many deeds as they did. As the book saith, no 10 knights did not half the deeds that they did, and there was never knight in their days that required Sir Lancelot or Sir Tristram of any quest. So it were not to their shame, but they performed their desire. Chapter 73. How King Arthur and Sir Lancelot came to see La Beale Isoud, and how Palomides smote down King Arthur. So on the morn Sir Lancelot departed, and Sir Tristram was ready, and La Beale Isoud with Sir Palomides and Sir Gareth. And so they rode all in green, full freshly beseen unto the forest. And Sir Tristram left Sir Dinadan sleeping in his bed. And so as they rode, it happed the king and Lancelot stood in a window, and saw Sir Tristram ride in Isoud. Sir, said Lancelot, yonder readeth the fairest lady of the world except your queen, Dame Guinevere. Who is that? Said Sir Arthur. Sir, said he, it is Queen Isoud that outtaken my lady your queen. She is makeless. Take your horse, said Arthur, and array you at all rights as I will do, and I promise you, said the king, I will see her. Then anon they were armed and horsed, and either took a spear and rode unto the forest. Sir, said Lancelot, it is not good that ye go too nigh them, for wit ye well there are 2 as good knights as now are living, and therefore, sir, I pray you be not too hasty. For peradventure there will be some knights be displeased, and we come suddenly upon them. As for that, said Arthur, I will see her, for I take no force whom I grieve. Sir, said Lancelot, ye put yourself in great jeopardy. As for that, said the king, we will take the adventure. Right so anon the king rode even to her, and saluted her, and said, God you save. Sir, said she, ye are welcome. Then the king beheld her, and liked her wonderly well. With that came Sir Palomides unto Arthur, and said, Uncourteous knight, what seekest thou here? Thou art uncourteous to come upon a lady thus suddenly, therefore withdraw thee. So Arthur took none heed of Sir Palomides' words, but ever he looked still upon Queen Iseud. Then was Sir Palomides wroth, and therewith he took a spear, and came hurtling upon King Arthur, and smote him down with a spear. When Sir Lancelot saw that despite of Sir Palomides, he said to himself, I am loath to have ado with yonder knight, and not for his own sake, but for Sir Tristram. And one thing I am sure of, if I smite down Sir Palomides, I must have ado with Sir Tristram, and that were overmatched for me to match them both, for they are two noble knights. Notwithstanding, whether I live or I die, needs must I revenge my lord, and so will I, whatsoever befall of me. And therewith Sir Lancelot cried to Sir Palomides, Keep thee from me. And then Sir Lancelot and Sir Palomides rushed together with two spears strongly. But Sir Lancelot smote Sir Palomides so hard that he went quite out of his saddle, and had a great fall. When Sir Tristram saw Sir Palomides have that fall, he said to Sir Lancelot, Sir knight, keep thee, for I must joust with thee. As for to joust with me, said Sir Lancelot, I will not fail you, for no dread I have of you, but I am loath to have ado with you, and I might choose. For I will that ye wit that I must revenge my special lord that was unhorsed, unwarly, and unknightly. And therefore, though I revenge that fall, take ye no displeasure therein, for he is to me such a friend that I may not see him shamed. Anon Sir Tristram understood by his person and by his knightly words that it was Sir Lancelot du Lake, and verily Sir Tristram deemed that it was King Arthur, he that Sir Palomides had smitten down. And then Sir Tristram put his spear from him, and put Sir Palomides again on horseback, and Sir Lancelot put King Arthur on horseback, and so departed. So God me help, said Sir Tristram unto Palomides, ye did not worshipfully when ye smote down that knight so suddenly as ye did. And wit ye well ye did yourself great shame, for the knights came hither of their gentleness to see a fair lady, and that is every good knight's part, to behold a fair lady, and ye had not ado to play such masteries afore my lady. Wit thou well it will turn to anger, for he that ye smote down was King Arthur, and that other was the good knight Sir Lancelot. But I shall not forget the words of Sir Lancelot when he called him a man of great worship. Thereby I wist that it was King Arthur. And as for Sir Lancelot, and there had been 500 knights in the meadow, he would not have refused them, and yet he said he would refuse me. By that again I wist that it was Sir Lancelot, for ever he forbeareth me in every place, and showeth me great kindness, and of all knights I outtake none. Say what men will say, he beareth the flower of all chivalry. Say it him whosoever will, and he be well angered, and that him list to do his utterance without any favour. I know him not alive, but Sir Lancelot is over hard for him, be it on horseback or on foot. I may never believe, said Palomides, that King Arthur will ride so privily as a poor errant knight. Ah, said Sir Tristram, ye know not my lord Arthur, for all knights may learn to be a knight of him. And therefore ye may be sorry, said Sir Tristram, of your unkindly deeds to so noble a king. And a thing that is done may not be undone, said Palomides. Then Sir Tristram sent Queen Iseud unto her lodging in the priory, there to behold all the tournament. Chapter 74. How the second day Palomides forsook Sir Tristram, and went to the contrary part against him. Then there was a cry unto all knights, that when they heard an horn blow, they should make jousts as they did the first day. And like as the brethren Sir Edward and Sir Sadok began the joust the first day, Sir Uwaine the king's son Urien and Sir Lucanere doubly began the joust the second day. And at the first encounter, Sir Uwaine smote down the king's son of Scots, and Sir Lucanere ran against the king of Wales, and they brake their spears all to pieces, and they were so fierce both, that they hurtled together that both fell to the earth. Then they of Orkney horse again Sir Lucanere, and then came in Sir Tristram de Lions, and then Sir Tristram smote down Sir Uwaine and Sir Lucanere, and Sir Palomides smote down other 2 knights, and Sir Gareth smote down other 2 knights. Then said Sir Arthur unto Sir Lancelot, See yonder 3 knights do passingly well, and namely the first that jousted. Sir, Said Lancelot, that night began not yet, but ye shall see him this day do marvellously. And then came into the place the Duke's son of Orkney, and then they began to do many deeds of arms. When Sir Tristram saw them so begin, he said to Palomides, How feel ye yourself? May ye do this day as ye did yesterday? Nay, said Palomides, I feel myself so weary, and so bruised of the deeds of yesterday, that I may not endure as I did yesterday. That me repenteth. Said Sir Tristram, For I shall lack you this day. Sir Palomides said, Trust not to me, for I may not do as I did. All these words said Palomides to beguile Sir Tristram. Sir, said Sir Tristram unto Sir Gareth, then must I trust upon you. Wherefore I pray be not far from me to rescue me. A need be, said Sir Gareth, I shall not fail you in all that I may do. Then Sir Palomides rode by himself, and then in despite of Sir Tristram he put himself in the thickest press among them of Orkney, and there he did so marvellously deeds of arms that all men had wonder of him, for there might none stand him a stroke. When Sir Tristram saw Sir Palomides do such deeds, he marvelled and said to himself, He is weary of my company. So Sir Tristram beheld him a great while, and did but little else. For the noise and cry was so huge and great, that Sir Tristram marvelled from whence came the strength that Sir Palomides had there in the field. Sir, said Sir Gareth unto Sir Tristram, remember ye know the words that Sir Dinadan said to you yesterday, when he called you a coward, forsooth. Sir, he said it for none ill, for ye are the man in the world that he most loveth, and all that he said was for your worship. And therefore, said Sir Gareth to Sir Tristram, let me know this day what ye be, and wonder ye not so upon Sir Palomides, for he enforceth himself to win all the worship and honour from you. I may well believe it, said Sir Tristram, and sithen I understand his evil will and his envy, ye shall see, if that I enforce myself, that the noise shall be left that now is upon him. Then Sir Tristram rode into the thickest of the press, and then he did so marvellously well, and did so great deeds of arms, that all men said that Sir Tristram did double so much deeds of arms as Sir Palomides had done aforehand. And then the noise went plain from Sir Palomides, and all the people cried upon Sir Tristram. O Jesu, said the people, see how Sir Tristram smited down with his spear so many knights. And see, said they all, how many knights he smited down with his sword, and of how many knights he rashed off their helms and their shields, and so he beat them all of Orkney afore him. How now, said Sir Lancelot unto King Arthur, I told you that this day there would a knight play his pageant. Yonder readeth a knight ye may see doth knightly, for he hath strength and wind. So God me help, said Arthur to Lancelot, ye say sooth, for I saw never a better knight, for he passeth far Sir Palomides. Sir, wit ye well, said Lancelot, it must be so of right, for it is himself, that noble knight Sir Tristram. I may right well believe it, said Arthur. But when Sir Palomides heard the noise and the cry was turned from him, he rode out on a part and beheld Sir Tristram. And when Sir Palomides saw Sir Tristram do so marvellously well, he wept passingly sore for despite, for he wist well he should no worship win that day. For well knew Sir Palomides, when Sir Tristram would put forth his strength and his manhood, he should get but little worship that day. Chapter 75. How Sir Tristram departed the field, and awake Sir Dinadan, and changed his array into black. Then came King Arthur, and the King of Northgales, and Sir Lancelot du Lake, and Sir Bleoberis, Sir Bors de Gonis, Sir Ector de Maris. These 3 knights came into the field with Sir Lancelot. And then Sir Lancelot with the 3 knights of his kin did so great deeds of arms that all the noise began upon Sir Lancelot. And so they beat the King of Wales and the King of Scots far back, and made them to avoid the field. But Sir Tristram and Sir Gareth abode still in the field, and endured all that ever there came, that all men had wonder that any knight might endure so many strokes. But ever Sir Lancelot, and his 3 kinsmen by the commandment of Sir Lancelot, forbade Sir Tristram. Then said Sir Arthur, Is it Sir Palomides that endureth so well? Nay, said Sir Lancelot, wit ye well it is the good knight Sir Tristram, for yonder ye may see Sir Palomides beholdeth and hoveth, and doth little or naught. And so, ye shall understand that Sir Tristram weeneth this day to be us all out of the field. And as for me, said Sir Lancelot, I shall not beat him whoso will. Sir, said Lancelot unto Arthur, ye may see how Sir Palomides hoveth yonder, as though he were in a dream. Wit ye well he is full heavy that Tristram doth such deed of arms. Then is he but fool, said Arthur, for never was Sir Palomides, nor never shall be, of such prowess as Sir Tristram. And if he have any envy at Sir Tristram, and cometh in with him upon his side, he is a false knight. As the king and Sir Lancelot thus spake, Sir Tristram rode privily out of the press, that none espied him but La Beale Isoud and Sir Palomides, for they two would not let off their eyes upon Sir Tristram. And when Sir Tristram came to his pavilions, he found Sir Dinadan in his bed asleep. Awake, said Tristram, ye ought to be ashamed so to sleep when knights have ado in the field. Then Sir Dinadan arose lightly and said, What will ye that I shall do? Make you ready, said Sir Tristram, to ride with me into the field. Then smiled Sir Tristram and said to Dinadan, Await well upon me. If ye see me overmatched, look that ye be ever behind me, and I shall make you ready way by God's grace. So Sir Tristram and Sir Dinadan took their horses. All this espied Sir Palomides, both their going and their coming, and so did La Beale Isoud, for she knew Sir Tristram above all other. Chapter 76. How Sir Palomides changed his shield and his armour for to hurt Sir Tristram, and how Sir Lancelot did to Sir Tristram. Then when Sir Palomides saw that Sir Tristram was disguised, then he thought to do him a shame. So Sir Palomides rode to a knight that was so wounded, that said under farewell from the field. Sir Knight, said Sir Palomides, I pray you to lend me your armour and your shield, for mine is over well known in this field, and that it done me great damage, and ye shall have mine armour and my shield that is as sure as yours. I will well, said the knight, that ye have mine armour and my shield, if they may do you any avail. So Sir Palomides armed him hastily in that knight's armour and his shield that shone as any crystal or silver, and so he came riding into the field. And then there was neither Sir Tristram nor none of King Arthur's party that knew Sir Palomides. And right so as Sir Palomides was coming to the field, Sir Tristram smote down 3 knights, even in the sight of Sir Palomides. And then Sir Palomides rode against Sir Tristram, and either met other with great spears, that they brast to their hands. And then they dashed together with swords eagerly. Then Sir Tristram had marvel what knight he was that did battle so knightly with him. Then was Sir Tristram wroth, for he felt him passing strong, so that he deemed he might not have ado with the remnant of the knights, because of the strength of Sir Palomides. So they lashed together and gave many sad strokes together, and many knights marvel what knight he might be that so encountered with the Black Knight, Sir Tristram. Full well knew La Beale Isoud that there was Sir Palomides that fought with Sir Tristram, for she espied all in her window where that she stood, as Sir Palomides changed his harness with the wounded knight. And then she began to weep so heartily for the despite of Sir Palomides that there she swooned. Then came in Sir Lancelot with the knights of Orkney, and when the other party had espied Sir Lancelot, they cried, Return, return, here cometh Sir Lancelot du Lake. So there came knights and said, Sir Lancelot, ye must needs fight with yonder knight in the black harness, that was Sir Tristram, for he hath almost overcome that good knight that fighteth with him with the silver shield, that was Sir Palomides. Then Sir Lancelot rode betwixt Sir Tristram and Sir Palomides, and Sir Lancelot said to Palomides, Sir Knight, let me have a battle, for ye have need to be reposed. Sir Palomides knew Sir Lancelot well, and so did Sir Tristram, but because Sir Lancelot was far hardier knight than himself, therefore he was glad, and suffered Sir Lancelot to fight with Sir Tristram. For well wist he that Sir Lancelot knew not Sir Tristram, and there he hoped that Sir Lancelot should beat or shame Sir Tristram, whereof Sir Palomides was full fain. And so Sir Lancelot gave Sir Tristram many sad strokes, but Sir Lancelot knew not Sir Tristram, but Sir Tristram knew well Sir Lancelot. And thus they fought long together, that La Beale Isoud was well nigh out of her mind for sorrow. Then Sir Dinadan told Sir Gareth how that knight in the black harness was Sir Tristram, and this is Lancelot that fighteth with him, that must needs have a better of him, for Sir Tristram had had too much travail this day. Then let us smite him down, said Sir Gareth. So it is better that we do, said Sir Dinadan, than Sir Tristram be shamed, for yonder hoveth a strong knight with a silver shield to fall upon Sir Tristram if need be. Then forthwithal Gareth rushed upon Sir Lancelot, and gave him a great stroke upon his helm so hard that he was astonied. And then came Sir Dinadan with a spear, and he smote Sir Lancelot such a buffet that horse and all fell to the earth. O Jesu, said Sir Tristram to Sir Gareth and Sir Dinadan, fie for shame, why did ye smite down so good a knight as he is, and namely when I had to do with him? Now ye do yourself great shame, and him no disworship. for I held him reasonable hot, though ye had not hope in me. Then came Sir Palomides that was disguised, and smote down Sir Dinadan from his horse. Then Sir Lancelot, because Sir Dinadan had smitten him aforehand. Then Sir Lancelot assailed Sir Dinadan passing sore, and Sir Dinadan defended him mightily. But well understood Sir Tristram that Sir Dinadan might not endure Sir Lancelot, wherefore Sir Tristram was sorry. Then came Sir Palomides fresh upon Sir Tristram, and when Sir Tristram saw him come, he thought to deliver him at once, because that he would help Sir Dinadan, because he stood in great peril with Sir Lancelot. Then Sir Tristram hurtled unto Sir Palomides, and gave him a great buffet, and then Sir Tristram gat Sir Palomides, and pulled him down underneath him. And so fell Sir Tristram with him. And Sir Tristram leapt up lightly, and left Sir Palomides, and went betwixt Sir Lancelot and Dinadan, and then they began to do battle together. Then all the people on the one side gave Sir Lancelot the honour and the degree, and on the other side all the people gave to the noble knight Sir Tristram the honour and the degree. But Lancelot said nay thereto, for I am not worthy to have this honour, for I will report me unto all knights that Sir Tristram have been longer in the field than I, and he has smitten down many more knights this day than I have done. And therefore I will give Sir Tristram my voice and my name, and so I pray all my lords and fellows so to do. Then there was a whole voice of dukes and earls, barons and knights, that Sir Tristram this day is proved the best knight. Chapter 77. How Sir Tristram departed with La Beale Isoud, and how Palomides followed and excused him. Then they blew unto lodging, and Queen Isoud was led unto her pavilions. But wit you well she was wroth out of measure with Sir Palomides, for she saw all his treason from the beginning to the ending. And all this while neither Sir Tristram, neither Sir Gareth nor Dinadan, knew not of the treason of Sir Palomides. But afterward ye shall hear that there befell the greatest debate betwixt Sir Tristram and Sir Palomides that might be. So when the tournament was done, Sir Tristram, Gareth, and Dinadan rode with La Beale Isoud to these pavilions, and ever Sir Palomides rode with them in their company disguised as he was. But when Sir Tristram had espied him that he was the same knight with the shield of silver that held him so hot that day, Sir Knight, said Sir Tristram, wit ye well here is none that hath need of your fellowship, and therefore I pray you depart from us. Sir Palomides answered again as though he had not known Sir Tristram, wit you well, Sir Knight, from this fellowship will I never depart, for one of the best knights of the world commanded me to be in this company, and till he discharge me of my service I will not be discharged. By that Sir Tristram knew that it was Sir Palomides. Ah, Sir Palomides, said the noble knight Sir Tristram, are ye such a knight? Ye have been named wrong, for ye have long been called a gentle knight, and as this day ye have showed me great ungentleness, for ye had almost brought me unto my death. But as for you, I suppose I should have done well enough, but Sir Lancelot with you was overmuch, for I know no knight living but Sir Lancelot is over good for him, and he will do his uttermost. Alas, said Sir Palomides, are ye my lord Sir Tristram? Yea, sir, and that ye know well enough. By my knighthood, said Palomides, until now I knew you not. I ween that ye had been the king of Ireland, for well I wot ye bear his arms. His arms I bear, said Sir Tristram, and that will I stand by, for I won them once in a field of a full noble knight. His name was a Miles, and with great pain I won that knight, for there was none other recover, but Sir Miles died through false leeches, and yet was he never yolden to me. Sir, said Palomides, I weened ye had been turned upon Sir Lancelot's party, and that caused me to turn. Ye say well, said Sir Tristram, and so I take you, and I forgive you. Truly, so I saw every deal, how and in what wise, and therefore, sir, how should I suffer in your presence such a felon and traitor as Sir Palomides? For I saw him with mine eyes, how he beheld you when he went out of the field. For ever he hoved still upon his horse till he saw you come and again ward. And then forthwithal I saw him ride to the hurt knight, and change harness with him. And then straight I saw him how he rode into the field. And anon as he had found you, he encountered with you, and thus wilfully Sir Palomides did battle with you. And as for him, sir, I was not greatly afraid, but I dread Sir Lancelot, that knew you not. Madam, said Palomides, you may say whatso you will, I may not contrary you, but by my knighthood I knew not Sir Tristram. Sir Palomides, said Sir Tristram, I will take your excuse, but well I would ye spared me but little, but all is pardoned on my part. Then La Beale Isoud held down her head, and said no more at that time. Chapter 78. How King Arthur and Sir Lancelot came under their pavilions as they sat at supper, and of Sir Palomides. And therewithal 2 knights armed came unto the pavilion, and there they alighted both, and came and armed at all pieces. Fair knights, said Sir Tristram, ye had a blame to come thus armed at all pieces upon me while we had our meat. If you would anything when we were in the field, there might ye have eased your hearts. Not so, said the one of those knights, we come not for that intent. But wit ye well, Sir Tristram, we be come hither as your friends. And I am come here, said the one, for to see you, and this knight is come for to see La Beale Isoud. Then said Sir Tristram, I require you do off your helms that I may see you. That will we do at your desire, said the knights. And when their helms were off, Sir Tristram thought that he should know them. Then said Sir Dinadan privily unto Sir Tristram, So, that is Sir Lancelot du Lake that spake unto you first, and the other is my lord King Arthur. Then said Sir Tristram unto La Beale Isoud, Madam, arise, for here is my lord King Arthur. Then the king and the queen kissed, and Sir Lancelot and Sir Tristram braced either other in arms, and then there was joy without measure. And at the request of La Beale Isoud, King Arthur and Lancelot were unarmed, and then there was merry talking. Madam, said Sir Arthur, it is many a day sithen that I desire to see you, for ye have been praised so foul. And now I dare say ye are the fairest that ever I saw, and Sir Tristram is as fair and as good a knight as any that I know. Therefore me beseemeth ye are well beset together. So, God thank you, said the noble knight, Sir Tristram, and Isoud, of your great goodness and largesse ye are peerless. Thus they talked of many things, and of all the whole jousts. But for what cause, said King Arthur, were ye, Sir Tristram, against us? Ye are a knight of the Table Round. Of right ye should have been with us. So, said Sir Tristram, here is Dinadan, and Sir Gareth your own nephew, cause me to be against you. My lord Arthur, said Gareth, I may well bear the blame, but it was Sir Tristram's own deeds. That may I repent, said Dinadan, for this unhappy Sir Tristram brought us to this tournament, and many great buffet he caused us to have. Then the king and Lancelot laughed that they might not sit. As for that, said Sir Tristram, I have pardoned him, and I would be right loath to leave his fellowship, for I love right well his company. So they left off and talked of other things. And in the evening King Arthur and Sir Lancelot departed unto their lodging. But wit ye well Sir Palomides had envy heartily, for all that night he had never rest in his bed, but wailed and wept out of measure. So on the morn Sir Tristram, Gareth, and Dinadan arose early, and then they went unto Sir Palomides' chamber, and there they found him fast asleep, for he had all night watched, and it was seen upon his cheeks that he had wept full sore. Say nothing, said Sir Tristram, for I am sure he had taken anger and sorrow for the rebuke that I gave to him, and La Beale Isoud. Chapter 79. How Sir Tristram and Sir Palomides did the next day, and how King Arthur was unhorsed. Then Sir Tristram let call Sir Palomides, and bade him make him ready, for it was time to go to the field. When they were ready they were armed, and clothed all in red, both Isoud and all they, and so they led her passing freshly through the field, into the priory where was a lodging. And then they heard 3 blasts blow, and every king and knight dress him unto the field. And the first that was ready to joust was Sir Palomides and Sir Kynus Lestrange, a knight of the Table Round. And so they two encountered together, but Sir Palomides smote Sir Kynus so hard that he smote him quite over his horse's croup. And then was Sir Palomides clean forgotten. How now, said Lancelot unto Arthur, yonder ride a knight that playeth his pageants. So God me help, said Arthur to Lancelot, ye shall see this day that yonder 2 knights shall here do this day wonders. Sir, said Lancelot, the one knight waiteth upon the other, and enforceth himself through envy to pass the noble knight Sir Tristram, and he knoweth nor the privy envy the which Sir Palomides hath to him. For all that the noble Sir Tristram doth is through clean knighthood. And then Sir Gareth and Dinadan did wonderly great deed of arms, as 2 noble knights, so that King Arthur spake of them great honour and worship. And the kings and knights of Sir Tristram's side did passingly well, and held them truly together. Then Sir Arthur and Sir Lancelot took their horses and dressed them, and get into the thickest of the press. And there Sir Tristram unknowing smote down King Arthur, and then Sir Lancelot would have rescued him, but there were so many upon Sir Lancelot that they pulled him down from his horse. And then the King of Ireland and the King of Scots with their knights did their pain to take King Arthur and Sir Lancelot prisoner. When Sir Lancelot heard them say so, he fared as it had been an hungry lion, for he fared so that no knight durst nigh him. Then came Sir Ector de Maris, and he bare a spear against Sir Palomides, and brasted upon him all to shivers. And then Sir Ector came again, and gave Sir Palomides such a dash with a sword that he stooped down upon his saddle bow. And forthwithal Sir Ector pulled down Sir Palomides under his feet. And then Sir Ector de Maris gat Sir Lancelot to Laken horse, and brought it to him, and bade him mount upon him. But Sir Palomides leapt afore, and gat the horse by the bridle, and leapt into the saddle. So God me help, said Lancelot, ye are better worthy to have that horse than I. Then Sir Ector brought Sir Lancelot another horse. Gramercy, said Lancelot unto his brother. And so when he was horse again, with one spear he smote down 4 knights. And then Sir Lancelot brought to King Arthur one of the best of the 4 horses. Then Sir Lancelot with King Arthur and a few of his knights of Sir Lancelot's kin did marvellous deeds. For that time, as the book recordeth, Sir Lancelot smote down and pulled down 30 knights. Notwithstanding, the other party held them so fast together that King Arthur and his knights were overmatched. And when Sir Tristram saw that, what labour King Arthur and his knights, and in especial the noble deeds that Sir Lancelot did with his own hands, he marvelled greatly. Chapter 80. How Sir Tristram turned to King Arthur's side, and how Palomides would not. Then Sir Tristram called unto him Sir Palomides, Sir Gareth, and Sir Dinadan, and said thus to them, My fair fellows, wit ye well that I will turn unto King Arthur's party, for I saw never so few men do so well, and it will be shame unto us knights that be of the round table to see our lord King Arthur, and that noble knight Sir Lancelot, to be dishonoured. It will be well done, said Sir Gareth and Sir Dinadan. Do your best, said Palomides, for I will not change my party that I came in withal. That is for my sake, said Sir Tristram. God speed you in your journey. And so departed Sir Palomides from them. Then Sir Tristram, Gareth, and Dinadan turned with Sir Lancelot. And then Sir Lancelot smote down the King of Ireland quite from his horse. And so Sir Lancelot smote down the King of Scots and the King of Wales. And then Sir Arthur ran unto Sir Palomides and smote him quite from his horse. And then Sir Tristram bare down all that he met. Sir Gareth and Sir Dinadan did theirs noble knights. Then all the parties began to flee. Alas, said Palomides, that ever I should see this day, for now have I lost all the worship that I won. And then Sir Palomides went his way wailing, and so withdrew him till he came to a well, and there he put his horse from him, and did off his armour, and wailed and wept like as he had been a woodman. Then many knights gave the prize to Sir Tristram, and there were many that gave the prize unto Sir Lancelot. Fair lords, said Sir Tristram, I thank you of the honour you would give me, but I pray you heartily that ye would give your voice to Sir Lancelot. For by my faith, said Sir Tristram, I will give Sir Lancelot my voice. But Sir Lancelot would not have it, and so the prize was given betwixt them both. Then every man rode to his lodging, and Sir Bleoberis and Sir Ector rode with Sir Tristram and La Beale Isoud unto their pavilions. Then as Sir Palomides was at the well wailing and weeping, there came by him flying the kings of Wales and of Scotland, and they saw Sir Palomides in that age. Alas, said they, that so noble a man as ye be should be in this array. And then those kings got Sir Palomides' horse again, and made him to arm him and mount upon his horse. And so he rode with them, making great dole. So when Sir Palomides came nigh the pavilions, the rear Sir Tristram and La Beale Isoud was in. Then Sir Palomides prayed the 2 kings to abide him there the while that he spake with Sir Tristram. And when he came to the port of the pavilions, Sir Palomides said on high, Where art thou, Sir Tristram de Lions? Sir, said Dinadan, that is Palomides. What, Sir Palomides, will ye not come in here among us? Fie on thee, traitor, said Palomides, for wit you well in it were daylight as it is night I should slay thee, mine own hands. And if ever I may get thee, said Palomides, thou shalt die for this day's deed. Sir Palomides, said Sir Tristram, ye wyte me with wrong, for had ye done as I did ye had won worship. But sit hen ye give me so large warning, I shall be well ware of you. Fie on thee, traitor, said Palomides, and therewith departed. Then on the morn Sir Tristram, Bleoberis, and Sir Ector de Maris, Sir Gareth, Sir Dinadan, what by water and what by land. They brought La Beale Ice out unto joyous guard, and there reposed them a 7 night, and made all the mirth and disports that they could devise. And King Arthur and his knights drew unto Camelot, and Sir Palomides rode with the 2 kings. And ever he made the greatest dole that any man could think, for he was not only so dolorous of the departing from La Beale Isoud, but he was apart as sorrowful to depart from a fellowship of Sir Tristram. For Sir Tristram was so kind and so gentle that when Sir Palomides remembered him thereof he might never be merry. Chapter 81. How Sir Bleoberis and Sir Ector reported to Queen Guinevere of the beauty of La Beale Isoud. So at the 7 nights' end Sir Bleoberis and Sir Ector departed from Sir Tristram and from a queen, and these 2 good knights had great gifts, and Sir Gareth and Sir Dinadan abode with Sir Tristram. And when Sir Bleoberis and Sir Ector were come there, as the Queen Guinevere was lodged in a castle by the seaside, and through the grace of God the Queen was recovered of a malady, then she asked the 2 knights from whence they came. They said that they came from Sir Tristram and from La Beale Isoud. How doth Sir Tristram? Said the Queen, and La Beale Isoud. Then the knights told her how Palomides won the degree at the first day with great noblesse, and the 2nd day Sir Tristram won the degree, and the 3rd day Sir Lancelot won the degree. Well, said Queen Guinevere, who did best all these 3 days. So God me help, said these knights, Sir Lancelot and Sir Tristram had least dishonour. And wit ye well Sir Palomides did passing well and mightily, but he turned against the party that he came in withal, and that caused him to lose a great part of his worship. For it seemed that Sir Palomides is passing envious. Then shall he never win worship, said Queen Guinevere, for when it happeth an envious man wants to win worship, he shall be dishonoured twice therefore, and for this cause all men of worship hate an envious man, and will show him no favour, and he that is courteous, and kind, and gentle, of favour in every place. Chapter 82. How Eponogris complained by a well, and how Sir Palomides came and found him, and of their both sorrowing. Now leave we of this matter, and speak we of Sir Palomides, that rode and lodged him with the 2 kings, whereof the kings were heavy. Then the king of Ireland sent a man of his to Sir Palomides, and gave him a great courser, and the king of Scotland gave him great gifts, and fain they would have had Sir Palomides of abiding with them, but in no wise he would abide. And so he departed, and rode as adventures would guide him, till it was nigh noon. And then in a forest by a well Sir Palomides saw where lay a fair wounded knight, and his horse bound him by him. And that knight made the greatest dole that ever he heard men make, for ever he wept, and therewith he sighed as though he would die. Then Sir Palomides rode near him, and saluted him mildly, and said, Fair knight, why wail ye so? Let me lie down and wail with you, for doubt not I am much more heavier than ye are. For I dare say, said Palomides, that my sorrow is 100-fold more than yours is, and therefore let us complain either to other. First, said the wounded knight, I require you tell me your name, for now be none of the noble knights of the Round Table thou shalt never know my name, whatsoever come of me. Fair knight, said Palomides, such as I am, be it better or be it worse. Wit thou well that my name is Sir Palomides, son and heir unto King Aslaber, and Sir Saphir and Sir Segwarides are my 2 brethren, and wit thou well as for myself I was never christened, but my 2 brethren are truly christened. O noble knight, said that knight, well is me that I have met with you, and wit ye well my name is Eponogris, the king's son of Northumberland. Now sit down, said Eponogris, and let us either complain to other. Then Sir Palomides began his complaint. Now shall I tell you, said Palomides, what woe I endure. I love the fairest queen and lady that ever bare life, and wit ye well her name is La Beale Isoud, King Mark's wife of Cornwall. That is great folly, said Eponogris, for to love Queen Isoud, for one of the best knights of the world loveth her, that is Sir Tristram de Lions. That is truth, said Palomides, for no man knoweth that matter better than I do, for I have been in Sir Tristram's fellowship this month, and with La Beale Isoud together. And alas, said Palomides, unhappy man that I am, now have I lost the fellowship of Sir Tristram for ever, and the love of La Beale Isoud for ever, and I am never like to see her more, and Sir Tristram and I be either to other mortal enemies. Well, said Eponogris, sit that ye loved La Beale Isoud, loved ye you ever again by anything that ye could think or wit, or else did ye rejoice her ever in any pleasure? Nay, by my knighthood, said Palomides, I never aspired that ever she loved me more than all the world, nor never had I pleasure with her. But the last day she gave me the greatest rebuke that ever I had, the which shall never go from my heart. And yet I well deserved that rebuke, for I did not knightly, and therefore I have lost the love of her and of Sir Tristram for ever. And I have many times enforced myself to do many deeds for La Beale Isoud's sake, and she was the cause of my worship winning. Alas, said Sir Palomides, now have I lost all the worship that ever I won, for never shall me befall such prowess as I had in the fellowship of Sir Tristram. Chapter 83. How Sir Palomides brought Sir Epinogris his lady, and how Sir Palomides and Sir Sophia were assailed. Nay, nay, said Epinogris, your sorrow is but japes to my sorrow, for I rejoiced my lady and won her with my hands, and lost her again, alas that day. Thus first I won her, said Epinogris. My lady was an earl's daughter, and as the earl and 2 knights came from the tournament of Lonazep, for her sake I set upon this earl and on his 2 knights, my lady there being present. And so by fortune there I slew the earl and one of the knights, and the other knight fled, and so that night I had my lady. And on the morn as she and I reposed us at this well-side there came there to me an errant knight. His name was Sir Helier le Prius, an hardy knight, and this Sir Helier challenged me to fight for my lady. And then we went to battle first upon horse and after on foot. But at the last Sir Helier wounded me so that he left me for dead, and so he took my lady with him. And thus my sorrow is more than yours, for I have rejoiced and you rejoice never. That is truth, said Palomides. But said I can never recover myself, I shall promise you, if I can meet with Sir Helier, I shall get you your lady again, or else he shall beat me. Then Sir Palomides made Sir Epinogris to take his horse, and so they rode to an hermitage, and there Sir Epinogris rested him. And in the meanwhile Sir Palomides walked privily out to rest him under the leaves, and there beside he saw a knight come riding with a shield that he had seen Sir Ector de Maris bear beforehand. And there came after him 10 knights, and so these 10 knights hoved under the leaves for heat. And anon after there came a knight with a green shield, and therein a white lion, leading a lady upon a palfrey. Then this knight with a green shield that seemed to be master of the 10 knights, he rode fiercely after Sir Helier, for it was he that hurt Sir Epinogris. And when he came nigh Sir Helier, he bade him defend his lady. I will defend her, said Helier, unto my power. And so they ran together so mightily that either of these knights smote other down, horse and all, to the earth. And then they won up lightly and drew their swords and their shields, and lashed together mightily more than an hour. All this Sir Palomides saw and beheld. But ever at the last the knight with Sir Ector's shield was bigger, and at the last this knight smote Sir Helier down, and then that knight unlaced his helm to have stricken off his head. And then he cried mercy, and prayed him to save his life, and bade him take his lady. Then Sir Palomides dressed him up, because he wist well that that same lady was Epinogris' lady, and he promised him to help him. Then Sir Palomides went straight to that lady, and took her by the hand, and asked her whether she knew a knight that hight Epinogris. Alas, she said, that ever he knew me or I him, for I have for his sake lost my worship, and also his life grieveth me most of all. Not so, lady, said Palomides, come on with me, for here is Epinogris in this hermitage. Ah, well is me, said the lady, and he be alive. Whither wilt thou with that lady? Said the knight with Sir Ector's shield. I will do with her what me list, said Palomides. Wit you well, said that knight, thou speakest over large, though thou seemest me to have an advantage, because thou sawest me do battle but late. Thou weenest, Sir Knight, to have that lady away from me so lightly? Nay, think it never not. And thou were as good a knight as a Sir Lancelot, or as a Sir Tristram, or Sir Palomides, but thou shalt win her dearer than ever did I. And so they went unto battle upon foot, and there they gave many sad strokes, and either wounded other passing sore, and thus they fought still more than an hour. Then Sir Palomides had marvelled what knight he might be that was so strong and so well breathed during, and thus said Palomides, Knight, I require thee tell me thy name. Wit thou well, said that knight, I dare tell thee my name, so that thou wilt tell me thy name. I will, said Palomides. Truly, said that knight, my name is Sophia, son of King Aslaber, and Sir Palomides and Sir Segwarides are my brethren. Now, and wit thou well, my name is Sir Palomides. Then Sir Sophia kneeled down upon his knees, and prayed him of mercy, and then they unlaced their helms, and either kissed other weeping. And in the meanwhile Sir Epinogris arose out of his bed, and heard them by the strokes, and so he armed him to help Sir Palomides if need were. Chapter 84. How Sir Palomides and Sir Sophia conducted Sir Epinogris to his castle, and of other adventures. Then Sir Palomides took the lady by the hand, and brought her to Sir Epinogris, and there was great joy betwixt them, for either swooned for joy. When they were met, fair knight and lady, said Sir Sophia, it were pity to depart you, Jesu send you joy either of other. Gramercy, gentle knight, said Epinogris, and much more thanks be to my lord Sir Palomides, that thus through his prowess made me to get my lady. Then Sir Epinogris required Sir Palomides and Sir Sophia, his brother, to ride with him unto his castle, for the safeguard of his person. Sir, said Palomides, we will be ready to conduct you because that ye are so wounded. And so was Epinogris and his lady horsed, and his lady behind him upon a soft ambler. And then they rode unto his castle, where they had great cheer and joy, as great as ever Sir Palomides and Sir Sophia had in their life days. So on the morn Sir Sophia and Sir Palomides departed, day until afternoon. And at the last they heard a great weeping and a great noise down in a manor. Sir, said then Sir Sophia, let us wit what noise this is. I will well, said Sir Palomides. And so they rode forth till they came to a fair gate of a manor, and there sat an old man saying his prayers and beads. Then Sir Palomides and Sir Sophia alighted and left their horses, and went within the gates, and there they saw full many goodly men weeping. Fair sirs, said Palomides, wherefore weep ye and make this sorrow? Anon one of the knights of the castle beheld Sir Palomides and knew him, and then went to his fellows and said, Fair fellows, wit ye well all, we have in this castle the same knight that slew our lord at Lenazep, for I know him well. It is Sir Palomides. Then they went unto harness, all that might bear harness, some on horseback and some on foot, to the number of 80. And when they were ready, they came freshly upon Sir Palomides and upon Sir Sophia with a great noise, and said thus, Keep thee, Sir Palomides, for thou art known, and by right thou must be dead, for thou hast slain our lord, and therefore wit ye well we will slay thee, therefore defend thee. Then Sir Palomides and Sir Sophia, the one set his back to the other, and gave many great strokes, and took many great strokes, and thus they fought with 20 knights and 40 gentlemen and yeomen nigh 2 hours. But at the last, though they were loath, Sir Palomides and Sir Sophia were taken in Yolden, and put in a strong prison, and within 3 days 12 knights passed upon them, and they found Sir Palomides guilty, and Sir Sophia not guilty, of their lord's death. And when Sir Sophia should be delivered, there was great dole betwixt Sir Palomides and him, and many piteous complaints that Sir Sophia made at his departing. There is no maker can rehearse the 10th part. Fair brother, said Palomides, let be thy dolour and thy sorrow. And if I be ordained to die a shameful death, welcome be it. But an I had wist of this death that I am deemed unto, I should never have been Yolden. So Sir Sophia departed from his brother with the greatest dolour and sorrow that ever made knight. Ah, my fair fellow and knight, said Palomides, I ride toward my death for the slaying of a knight at a tournament of Lonazep, and if I had not departed from my lord Sir Tristram, as I ought not to have done, now might I have been sure to have had my life saved. But I pray you, Sir Knight, recommend me unto my lord Sir Tristram, and unto my lady Queen Isoud, and say to them if ever I trespass to them I ask them forgiveness. And also I beseech you recommend me unto my lord King Arthur, and to all the fellowship of the Round Table, unto my power. Then that knight wept for pity of Sir Palomides, and therewithal he rode unto Joyous Gard as fast as his horse might run. And lightly that knight descended down off his horse, and went unto Sir Tristram, and they told him all as ye have heard, and ever the knight wept as he had been mad. Chapter 85. How Sir Tristram made him ready to rescue Sir Palomides, but Sir Lancelot rescued him more he came. When Sir Tristram heard how Sir Palomides went to his death, he was heavy to hear that, and said, Howbeit that I am wroth with Sir Palomides, yet will not I suffer him to die so shameful a death, for he is a full noble knight. And then anon Sir Tristram was armed, and took his horse and 2 squires with him, and rode a great pace toward the castle of Palounds, where Sir Palomides was judged to death. And these 12 knights that led Sir Palomides passed by a well whereas Sir Lancelot was, which was a lighted day, and had tied his horse to a tree, and taken off his helm to drink of that well. And when he saw these knights, Sir Lancelot put on his helm, and suffered them to pass by him. And then was he ware of Sir Palomides bounden, and led shamefully to his death. O Jesu, said Lancelot, what misadventures befallen him that he is thus led toward his death? Forsooth, said Lancelot, it was shame to me to suffer this noble knight so to die, and I might help him. Therefore I will help him whatsoever come of it, or else I shall die for Sir Palomides' sake. And then Sir Lancelot mounted upon his horse, and get his spear in his hand, and rode after the 12 knights that led Sir Palomides. Fair knights, said Sir Lancelot, whither lead ye that night? It beseemeth him full ill to ride bounden. Then these 12 knights suddenly turned their horses, and said to Sir Lancelot, Sir knight, we counsel thee not to meddle with this knight, for he hath deserved death, and unto death he is judged. That me repenteth, said Lancelot, that I may not borrow him with fairness, for he is overgood a knight to die such a shameful death. And therefore, fair knights, said Sir Lancelot, keep you as well as ye can, for I will rescue that knight or die for it. Then they began to dress their spears, and Sir Lancelot smote the foremost down, horse and man, and so he served 3 more with 1 spear. And then that spear brast, and therewithal Sir Lancelot drew his sword, and then he smote on the right hand and on the left hand. Then within a while he left none of those 12 knights, but he had laid them to the earth, and the most part of them was sore wounded. And then Sir Lancelot took the best horse that he found, and loosed Sir Palomides, and set him upon that horse. And so they returned again unto Joyous Gard, and then was Sir Palomides ware of Sir Tristram how he came riding. And when Sir Lancelot saw him, he knew him well. But Sir Tristram knew him not, because Sir Lancelot had on his shoulder a golden shield. So Sir Lancelot made him ready to joust with Sir Tristram, that Sir Tristram should not win that he was Sir Lancelot. Then Sir Palomides cried aloud to Sir Tristram, O my lord, I require you joust not with this knight, for this good knight hath saved me from my death. When Sir Tristram heard him say, so he came a soft trotting pace toward them. And then Sir Palomides said, My lord, Sir Tristram, much am I beholding unto you of your great goodness, that would proffer your noble body to rescue me undeserved, for I have greatly offended you. Notwithstanding, said Sir Palomides, here met we with this noble knight that worshipfully and manly rescued me from 12 knights, and smote them down all and wounded them sore. Chapter 86. How Sir Tristram and Lancelot, with Palomides, came to Joyous Gard, and of Palomides and Sir Tristram. Fair knight, said Sir Tristram unto Sir Lancelot, of whence be ye? I am a knight errant, said Sir Lancelot, that readeth to seek many adventures. What is your name? Said Sir Tristram, So, at this time I will not tell you. Then Sir Lancelot said unto Sir Tristram and to Palomides, Now either of you are met together, I will depart from you. Not so, said Sir Tristram, I pray you of knighthood to ride with me unto my castle. Wit you well, said Sir Lancelot, I may not ride with you, for I have many deeds to do in other places, that at this time I may not abide with you. Ah, mercy Jesu, said Sir Tristram, I require you as ye be a true knight to the order of knighthood. Play you with me this night. Then Sir Tristram had a grant of Sir Lancelot, howbeit though he had not desired him, he would have ridden with them, out as soon have come after them. For Sir Lancelot came for none other cause into that country but for to see Sir Tristram. And when they were come within Joyous Gard, they alighted, and their horses were led into a stable, and then they unarmed them. And when Sir Lancelot was unhelmed, Sir Tristram and Sir Palomides knew him. Then Sir Tristram took Sir Lancelot in arms, and so did La Beale Isoud, and Palomides kneeled down upon his knees and thanked Sir Lancelot. When Sir Lancelot saw Sir Palomides kneel, he lightly took him up, and said thus, Wit thou well, Sir Palomides, I and any knight in this land, of worship ought of very right succour and rescue so noble a knight as he approved and renowned throughout all this realm endlong and overthwart. And then was there joy among them, and the oftener that Sir Palomides saw La Beale Isoud, the heavier he waxed day by day. Then Sir Lancelot within 3 or 4 days departed, and with him rode Sir Ector de Maris, and Dinadan and Sir Palomides were there left with Sir Tristram a 2 months and more. But ever Sir Palomides faded and mourned, that all men had marvel wherefore he faded so away. So upon a day, in the dawning, Sir Palomides went into the forest by himself alone, and there he found a well, and then he looked into the well, and in the water he saw his own visage, how he was disturbed and defaded, nothing like that he was. What may this mean? Said Sir Palomides, and thus he said to himself, Ah, Palomides, Palomides, why art thou defeated, thou that was wont to be called one of the fairest knights of the world? I will no more lead this life, for I love that I may never get nor recover. And therewithal he laid him down by the well. And then he began to make a rhyme of La Beale Isude in him. And in the meanwhile Sir Tristram was that same day ridden into the forest to chase the heart of Greece. But Sir Tristram would not ride a hunting nevermore unarmed, because of Sir Brew's sworn's pite. And so as Sir Tristram rode into that forest up and down, he heard one sing marvellously loud, and that was Sir Palomides that lay by the well. And then Sir Tristram rode softly thither, for he deemed there was some knight-errant that was at the well. And when Sir Tristram came nigh him, he descended down from his horse and tied his horse fast till a tree, and then he came near him on foot. And anon he was where lay Sir Palomides by the well, and sang loud and merrily. And ever the complaints were of that noble queen, La Beale Isude, the which was marvellously and wonderfully well said, and full dolefully and piteously made. And all the whole song the noble knight, Sir Tristram, heard from beginning to the ending, the which grieved and troubled him sore. But then at the last, when Sir Tristram had heard all Sir Palomides' complaints, he was wroth out of measure, and thought for to slay him there as he lay. Then Sir Tristram remembered himself that Sir Palomides was unarmed, and of the noble name that Sir Palomides had, and the noble name that himself had, and then he made a restraint of his anger, and so he went unto Sir Palomides a soft pace, and said, Sir Palomides, I have heard your complaint, and of thy treason that thou hast owed me so long, and wit thou well therefore thou shalt die. And if it were not for shame of knighthood, thou shouldest not escape my hands. For now I know well thou hast awaited me with treason. Tell me, said Sir Tristram, how thou wilt acquit thee. Sir, said Palomides, thus I will acquit me. As for Queen La Beale Isude, ye shall wit well I love her above all other ladies in this world, and well I would it shall befall me as for her love as befell to the noble knight Sir Cahides, that died for the love of La Beale Isude. And now, Sir Tristram, I will that ye wit that I have loved La Beale Isude many a day, and she have been the cause of my worship, and else I had been the most simplest knight in the world. For by her, and because of her, I have won the worship that I have. For when I remembered me of La Beale Isude, I won the worship wheresoever I came for the most part, and yet had I never reward nor bounty over the days of my life, and yet have I been her knight guerdonless. And therefore, Sir Tristram, as for any death I dread not, for I had as lief die as to live. And if I were armed as thou art, I should lightly do battle with thee. Well have ye uttered your treason, said Tristram. I have done to you no treason, said Palomides, for love is free for all men. And though I have loved your lady, she is my lady as well as yours. Howbeit I have wrong if any wrong be, for ye rejoice her, and have your desire of her. And so had I never nor never am like to have, and yet shall I love her to the uttermost days of my life as well as ye. Chapter 87. How there was a day set between Sir Tristram and Sir Palomides at a fight, and how Sir Tristram was hurt. Then said Sir Tristram, I will fight with you to the uttermost. I grant, said Palomides, for in a better quarrel keep I never to fight. For when I die of your hands, of a better knight's hands may I not be slain. And sithen I understand that I shall never rejoice La Beale Isude, I have as good will to die as to live. Then set ye a day, said Sir Tristram, that we shall do battle. This day 15 days, said Palomides, will I meet with you hereby, in the meadow under joyous guard. Fie for shame, said Sir Tristram, will ye set so long day? Let us fight to morn. Not so, said Palomides, for I am meagre, and have been long sick for the love of La Beale Isude, and therefore I will repose me till I have my strength again. So then Sir Tristram and Sir Palomides promised faithfully to meet at the well that day 15 days. I am remembered, said Sir Tristram to Palomides, that ye brake me once a promise when that I rescued you from Brew's sworn's pite and 9 knights, and then ye promised me to meet me at the perron and the grave beside Camelot, whereas at that time ye failed of your promise. Wit you well, said Palomides unto Sir Tristram, I was at that day in prison, so that I might not hold my promise. So God me help, said Sir Tristram, and ye had holden your promise, this work had not been here now at this time. Right so departed Sir Tristram and Sir Palomides. And so Sir Palomides took his horse and his harness, and he rode unto King Arthur's court. And there Sir Palomides gat him 4 knights and 4 sergeants of arms, and so he returned againward unto joyous guard. And in the meanwhile Sir Tristram chased and hunted at all manner of venery, and about 3 days afore the battle should be, as Sir Tristram chased and hart, there was an archer shot at the heart, and by misfortune he smote Sir Tristram in the thick of the thigh, and the arrow slew Sir Tristram's horse and hurt him. When Sir Tristram was so hurt he was passing heavy, and wit ye well he bled sore. And then he took another horse, and rode unto Joyous-Gard with great heaviness, more for the promise that he had made with Sir Palomides, as to do battle with him within 3 days after, than for any hurt of his thigh. Wherefore there was neither man nor woman that could cheer him with anything that they could make to him, neither Queen La Beale Isoud. For ever he deemed that Sir Palomides had smitten him so that he should not be able to do battle with him at the day's set. Chapter 88. How Sir Palomides kept his day to have foughten, but Sir Tristram might not come, and other things. But in no wise there was no knight about Sir Tristram that would believe that ever Sir Palomides would hurt Sir Tristram, neither by his own hands nor by none other consenting. Then when the 15th day was come, Sir Palomides came to the well with 4 knights with him of Arthur's court, and 3 sergeants of arms. And for this intent Sir Palomides brought the knights with him and the sergeants of arms, for they should bear record of a battle betwixt Sir Tristram and Sir Palomides. And the one sergeant brought in his helm, the other his spear, the third his sword. So thus Palomides came into the field, and there he abode nigh 2 hours. And then he sent a squire unto Sir Tristram, and desired him to come into the field to hold his promise. When the squire was come to Joyous-Gard, anon as Sir Tristram heard of his coming, he let command that the squire should come to his presence therein as he lay in his bed. My lord Sir Tristram, said Palomides' squire, wit you well, my lord, Palomides abideth you in the field, and he would wit whether you would do battle or not. Ah, my fair brother, said Sir Tristram, wit thou well that I am right heavy for these tidings. Therefore tell Sir Palomides and I were well at ease, I would not lie here, nor he should have no need to send for me, and I might either ride or go. And for thou shalt say that I am no liar. Sir Tristram showed him his thigh, that the wound was 6 inches deep. And now thou hast seen my hurt. Tell thy lord that this is no feigned matter, and tell him that I had liefer than all the gold of King Arthur that I were whole. And tell Palomides as soon as I am whole, I shall seek him endlong and overthwart, and that I promise you as I am true knight. And if ever I may meet with him, he shall have battle with me his fill. And with this the squire departed. And when Palomides with Sir Tristram was hurt, he was glad and said, Now I am sure I shall have no shame, for I wot well I should have had hard handling of him, and by likely I must needs have had the worse, for he is the hardest knight in battle that now is living except Sir Lancelot. And then departed Sir Palomides, whereas fortune led him, and within a month Sir Tristram was whole of his hurt. And then he took his horse, and rode from country to country, and all strange adventures he achieved wheresoever he rode, and always he inquired for Sir Palomides. But of all that quarter of summer Sir Tristram could never meet with Sir Palomides. But thus as Sir Tristram sought and inquired after Sir Palomides, Sir Tristram achieved many great battles, wherethrough all the noise fell to Sir Tristram, and it ceased to Sir Lancelot, and therefore Sir Lancelot's brethren and his kinsmen would have slain Sir Tristram because of his fame. But when Sir Lancelot wist how his kinsman was set, he said to them openly, Wit you well, then the envy of you all be so hardy to wait upon my lord, Sir Tristram, with any hurt, shame, or villainy. As I am true knight, I shall slay the best of you with mine own hands. Alas, fie for shame, should ye for his noble deeds await upon him to slay him. Jesu defend, said Lancelot, that ever any noble knight as Sir Tristram should be destroyed with treason. Of this noise and fame sprang into Cornwall, and among them of lions, whereof they were passing glad, and made great joy. And then they of Lions sent letters unto Sir Tristram of recommendation, and many great gifts to maintain Sir Tristram's estate. And ever, between, Sir Tristram resorted unto Joyous-Gard, whereas La Beale Isoud was, that loved him as a life.